Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. It's Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022. My name is Leon Jones, and doing my first live stream in a week. And what I'm going to continue to do with this channel, I'm going to mix it up with some live streams and, of course, some pre recorded content. I believe it's best for the show. It also helps me deliver much better topics. And furthermore, I want to give you all some quality information that you can take with you. Now, in the meantime, good evening, Celine. In the meantime, I wanted to do a couple of topics today that they're controversial on one hand, but if you look at everything from a realistic standpoint, it's also a hustle. And I'm going to talk about the foster care industry. And of course, you also have I call it the developmental disabilities industry. Now, Tommy Jean used to work in that industry, and it's basically where you have a number of individuals. They may be sponsored by a company, but what they'll do, they'll take in individuals with disabilities. Now, you also have the same thing with the foster kids as well. Now, before I go on, I'm only going to allow 6 people on the panel at one time. 6 people. That's it. Welcome, Men's Daily. Now, getting on with the topic, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. I also left the link to the article in my comment section. Everybody's free to join the comment section, and it's time to roll. Okay. As I say, good evening, peoples. I'm going to talk about the disabilities industry right now, and then I'm also going to have an open panel. So we talk about development disabilities, and welfare and foster care. Is it a hustle? Do you have a number of able-bodied people who are working in the system who are making money off the system? Well, the hustle culture is an ableist, capitalistic demon that we need to destroy, that basically benefits and thrives off of forsaken people's basic needs as human beings while shaming and guilting you for anything beyond what is basically out of your control. And this is personal. Now, again, this is not my article. Somebody else wrote this article. I'm just going to paraphrase what the person wrote in the article. The article was written by Brittany Johnson. Brittany Johnson. She is the editor. Now, in this article, as I continue to share my screen here, she basically says, from a young age, I was pushed beyond my limits. Trying my best wasn't an option. I had to be the best, and that's physically impossible. She says, I worked my ass off believing the lie that the more I worked, the better I would be, while I was living with undiagnosed attention deficit disorder. We call it ADHD. That's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So I'd be sobbing, thinking I was stupid, because I basically couldn't do what seemed so simple to everyone around me. My confidence was shot. And when you add in the potential mood disorders, I was working at the time of my life, the chaos of always grinding had me suicidal more times than not. Even then, they told me I was lazy and that I had to work harder. I'd be better off if I would work harder. And it would be worth it in the end. Now, of course, as you know, it just didn't happen. Shout out to Angels Don't Fall. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. I'm not asking for donations. If you want to donate, you can donate to the Cash App at $LEJ01021965. I'm just going to give you good content. The link is up if you want to come up after about 30 minutes. Continuing. Getting back. When people promote the grind and hustle culture, people are promoting a lifestyle that isn't sustainable or healthy for neurotypical able-bodied person, much less anyone who differs from that. Now, you'll hear them say, how bad do you want it, as a means of inspiration just to keep going. Now, of course, in the eyes of the grinders and hustlers, you're supposed to want a job, new business, or money so badly that you Herculean style push through whatever blocks or boundaries are in your way so you can be successful. Newsflash, you can't hustle your way out of being disabled. These are the spaces where you'll often see inspiration porn as well that would use the stories of disabled people to inspire able-bodied people to do whatever they want. Now, if they can do it, why can't you? Which is textbook ableism. Not to mention, if you are a disabled person and it's brought up that there's a disability or impairment that's making it harder for you to do certain thing, this is the editor, ADHD and my executive dysfunction, then what will happen? You will get bombarded with all the gross imagery of disabled people doing the exact same thing. Now, in her case, what she would do, or what they would do, is send you a list of the top 10 richest people who have ADHD. Now, she says her ability to multitask makes her feel like a superhero while completely ignoring the individual struggle and, of course, situation. Shout out again to Angels Don't Fall. Let me get some of the comments up here. Angels Don't Fall says almost all the help or benefits go to those who are not in need of it. Facts. Angels Don't Fall says again, the ones that truly do have needs, nothing. Unless you consider the hassle and cost of chasing your tail in circles while they dangle the carrot above. Well, again, this is what's going on in America. In the meantime, there are a number of people using disability, using racism, using Social Security, using ADHD, everything you can name, they're using it for capitalization for themselves. It is a hustle. You know, the foster care system is a hustle. You have a number of individuals who are basically taking kids as an incentive from the state. Now, does all the money go to the kids? Absolutely not. Just like the child support system. Does the money go for the kids? No, it does not. Let me continue. Bear with me. Well, again, if it's not inspirational porn, it's guilt, shame, and gaslighting that they use to push their grind life's agenda. It's messaging such as, you're not lazy, you're just scared. Calling us lazy is bad enough, but tell me, what the hell do you think we are afraid of? Maybe it's not fair. Maybe it's that we don't want to risk our health and well-being, which could also be fairly precarious at times, in order to be a big boss CEO. Now, it's not wrong to value ourselves first before the hustle and grind. Now, again, not everyone's body can handle 2 jobs or 1 job and building a business. Not everyone's mental health can take the ups and downs that come along with entrepreneurialism. Our lives can't and shouldn't be revolved around work. Now, stress kills the most able bodied heart. Think about what it could be to one that isn't. Now, again, this is a health crisis that if we don't tend to, people will die. Now, I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. Now, the American Institute of Stress reports that 120,000 people die every year as a result of work related stress with different health conditions stemming from it, such as heart disease, high blood pressure, depression, and more. Now, again, salute my man, Nate. Hope you're going to be up in the panel because I'm talking about social services, talking about disability. Just want everybody to get the likes up. Now, again, if I don't get much participation in the chat or on the panel, I'll go ahead and shut it down and go about my business. I'm not asking for donations, but give me some support and let's get the likes up and let's participate. I am going to continue. Now, again, what I'm talking about is basically institutional developmental disability. This happens. And let me stop sharing the screen a little bit. And what I see that's going on is one of the oldest hustles in the book. And the oldest hustle in the book is, of course, the foster care system. Now it's actually branched out to where there are elderly people coming in to live with able-bodied folks, but the able-bodied folks are actually getting money to help the elderly people. Now, some of these elderly people are disabled. You also have the foster care system. Now, I'm just going to say this. A lot of what you see going on with any type of social service today. Now, I'm not saying social services are not legitimate. The problem I've always had with any type of social services is that it benefits individuals who are able bodied. People who actually have the social services are being used, and they're being used for their disability. They're being neglected. You look at foster children. How many foster children get neglected and abused every year? And you go into some of these living assistant facilities. How many of those individuals get abused? You talk about human trafficking. I believe some of what goes on in the foster care system and some of what goes along with abusing the elderly and the disabled, that to me is somewhat similar to human trafficking. Again, you're taking the failures of individuals that can't do for themselves. And the people who are behind it, they know what's going on. They're behind the scheme. You look at the prison system. Prisons make money off of incarceration. You look at the military industrial complex. Now, what's the military supposed to do? It's supposed to protect the country from other countries. But you see what the government is actually doing? What they're doing is basically contracting some of their services out to private contractors. Something else that I also believe it helps, but there's a hustle behind that. Non-profit organizations. Yes, your churches are 501c3, but you look at the failure of the churches and you see that the churches, they haven't done anything. In fact, some of the churches are promoting some of the social issues that we don't believe in, like same-sex marriage. And these churches, they make a lot of money. Now, again, going back to the foster care system, just bear with me. Bear with me. Is the foster care system broken? Well, got a question for everybody out there. Is the foster care system broken as well? Is it? Well, let's find out here. And again, everybody who's in the chat, salute, welcome. It's my first live I've done in 3 weeks. So I got to dust the cobwebs off. Let me share my screen, and I'm going to talk about the foster care system. Is it broken? The foster care system. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. All right. All right, this information is actually from my newspaper here in the Indianapolis area. Now, what do broken adoptions look like here in Indiana? Well, USA analyzed demographic and behavioral risk factors for children who were adopted out of foster care between 2008 and 2010 and who returned to the system at some point at the same point. Now, this happened a long time ago. So in Indiana, where 4,419 children were adopted from the foster care system between 08 and 10, 95 of the children had been returned to the state's foster care system. That's a 2% dissolution rate, slightly below the national average calculated from 16 states. Now, these states include Indiana, and Indiana provided the data that made it possible to track children from the foster care system to adoption and re-entry into the foster care system, according to a 2020 report submitted to a federal administration for children and families. Again, what's good, Tampa Supreme? The organizer. Yeah, shout out to Brother Nate with the organizer job. Thank you, Brother Nate. But again, going back to what I'm saying, and just bear with me again here. Lost my YouTube page here. Okay, all right. Let me go back. Here we go. Live in the air. All right. Back to the drawing board. Going back, and I'm going to just give some numbers here. How many adoptions out of the foster care system occur in Indiana every year? Now, again, I don't really like giving numbers, so this is really old data. But since 2008, Indiana has averaged about 1,600 adoptions a year out of foster care. That number peaked with more than 2,400 adoptions from the foster care system in 2019. So in the Hoosier state, the foster care adoptions account for nearly half of all the adoptions. In 2020, 47% of adoptions were out of the foster care system. Now again, there's a lot of problems within the foster care system, and we know it. Shout out to Brother Nate trying to close down prison. And again, salute. I did drop the link for anybody that wants to come up. And just want to have a little discussion about the foster care system here and disabilities. And to me, you have a lot of demonic people out here. And these individuals, and they're on the left and they're on the right. And one thing we have to understand about our government is our government really doesn't care about us. And then when they contract all the services out to people so they can make money off of failures, that's another issue. Again, you look at the child support system. The child support system is basically a collection agency. It's not part of the government at all, but a number of us believe that's part of the government because we've been duped. Salute, Brother Angry Snowman. Welcome to the chat. I the link, if anybody wants to come up, I've dropped the link. I also got my poll. Is social service a hustle? Example, foster care. I've gotten 11 votes so far, 91% yes, and of course, 9% said no. Again, welcome to the chat, everybody. My name is Leon Jones. I'm doing a Wednesday edition. Let's get the likes up. Let's get my numbers up as well. And shout out to Brother Nate. He will be streaming tomorrow. He streams Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Brother Angry Snowman asks, what you need to ask yourself is this: is the foster care system trying to put out kids in permanent homes, or are they trying to keep them under the custody of the state and generate revenue? Brother Angry Snowman, I'd like to get you up on the panel. Let's discuss this, because I really believe that you have some individuals that are legitimately handling foster kids, and of course, disabled individuals as well. They are. But you have a number of individuals out there who are not. And what it is, I believe the state wants to continue to shuffle disabilities out. They want to shuffle foster kids out because you have a number of individuals who are making money. And I believe that you have some of these individuals that come on Kendra G's channel. I know she had one who had adopted 4 kids, and she was 42 years old and said she makes a lot of money. Okay, now I'm thinking of it this way: you adopted 4 kids. How much money did you make by adopting these kids? Or did you really adopt those kids? Or are they foster kids that you have in your custody right now so you get tax breaks? See, the way everything works in America, if you have a lot of dependents, you're going to get less taxes taken out. Shout out to you, Brother Nate. I'll be here. Shout out to you, Brother Nate. And that's the thing that we have to understand here. I mean, disabilities, that's another hustle. The welfare system is a hustle. I mean, shout out to You Ain't Wrong. I believe Texas gets some sort of kickback from the feds for collecting child support. Well, you ain't wrong. That is absolutely true. All the states under Title 42D, this all comes from the Department of Human Health Services. All the states get incentives for collecting child support. That's why they go after the father so hard, because the father generally makes more money. And let me tell you something too about the child support system. If you have a ex-girlfriend who's getting welfare, now I know the state of Virginia does. Well, you used to have TANF, Transitional Assistance for Needy Families, TANF. Well, some states, what they used to do, the father would pay the child support, but the child support goes back to pay the welfare system, and the mother doesn't get all that money. She gets the first $50 of it. And then with child support, I know here in Indiana, because when I paid it, you pay child support, and then they charged you a $55 administrative fee. And if you didn't pay that administrative fee, what would happen? They could also, from their minds, they really can't do that. It's illegal, but it's another tactic to strong arm you into paying. Again, the $55 maintenance fee here in the Indiana area and other states I know have some type of draconian rule for maintenance and administrative fee. Well, you don't pay that fee in some states, they're going to try to take away your license. Well, I used to get letters in the mail about that, and uh, I never obeyed them because as long as I was paying support, that was all I needed to pay. You Ain't Wrong says employers get a tax credit for hiring people on TANF in Texas. You ain't wrong. That's absolutely true. There are a number of states who do have employers who get tax credits for hiring people on TANF. Now, again, you have a number of colleges, they give people on disabilities, they give people with ADHD, some of them, which, again, I'm not faulting the people who are on disability. I'm not faulting the people who actually need the programs. I'm not faulting the people who are using the money for the correct purpose. What I'm faulting is you have a number of lobbyist groups out here for disabilities, for child support, for welfare, for foster kids. And every time you get some type of system, governmental or state system involved, there seems to be some type of calamity involved with it. And that calamity all revolves around money. I mean, let's give you a big example. BLM, Black Lives Matter. How did Black Lives Matter make a lot of their money? Well, number one, they got money from corporations. Corporations were scared to death from Black Lives Matter destroying them. They got the companies to cooperate with them. In other words, they shook them down. That's what they did. Just like Jesse Jackson a long time ago shook down a Toyota plant. And the social service industry has a lot of shakedown artists. And a big shakedown artist is the people who are fathers, the people who are disabled. I mean, like I can tell you, Tommy Jean introduced me to some people. And in fact, Tommy Jean worked for some individuals. She actually worked for a company and she had some disabled people staying. I'm not going to bring their names out, but it was in Virginia. And Tommy Jean was treated wrong. Tommy Jean was getting paid under the table. Usually, if you're an employer, you got to take taxes out of somebody's check. Didn't happen. So in the end, we had the individuals that Tommy Jean worked for, they had individuals with disabilities. Now, again, is that a scam? Is that also a scam too when we talk about, I know, shout out to Brother Nate, and something that Brother Nate didn't mention, and I'm going to mention it right now too, talk about the stepdaddies. Well, you do have some of the stepdaddies out there as well, and some of the boyfriends when it comes to children and even foster children or any type of child. Well, they also abuse children who are the mother's children, the boyfriend, the revolving door boyfriend, or the stepdaddy sometimes abuses children as well. Yet Sharpton, Jackson, Operation Push, shakedown artists, people on the left. In fact, when we look into politics, it's basically people on the left of the spectrum. They're the ones who believe in the most government programs. And they have the most shakedown artists who love the government programs. And they talk about they don't like capitalism, but they are crony capitalists themselves. Again, please let's get the likes up, giving out good information here. But when you have people who are demonic, and think about that for a moment there. The demonic people live under the dark triad: Machiavellianism, psychopaths, and of course, narcopaths. They know how to manipulate the system, they know how to manipulate gullible people, they know how to take a person's disability and make a profit off of it. And this is what individuals need to understand. You got people out here who aren't interested in helping you. They're interested in using your failure for themselves. And the foster care system is like that. The developmental disabilities, they're like that. In the long run, what generally happens is people never get help. And one of the reasons why you have troubled people out there who are disabled and who are foster children is because they're sent from house to house to house to house. And the people who are living in these houses, they take them in, they make their money, and once they've made enough money, they don't want to deal with the personnel anymore, so they send them right back to the state. And to me, I wish the government would do a little bit more to check people, give good background checks on people who are taking in disabled people, and they're taking in, of course, foster children. And again, you also have to look at the situation too. You have a number of mothers out here who have encouraged their daughters. Once the mother has turned a certain age, let's say she's turned 40 and she has a daughter. Let me not use the mother. Let me step back with that. The daughter, once she turns 18, you have some mothers that encourage their daughters to have children. Why? See, the mother was getting paid for having her daughter or her son by the welfare system. So the mother will encourage her daughters or daughter to have children as well. Why? Because when the cycle passes through, the mother could sit there and still benefit off now her daughter's money. This is where you get a number of individuals living together off now her daughter's money. Shout out the little big Nate. Hey, what's going on, brother Nate?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Oh man, welcome to the chat, bro. Man, I'm talking about the system that actually is it's piggybacking off of something you did. I'm talking about the foster care system, and also you have a number of disabled people that are being taken off the street, and they're living with able-bodied people, but these able-bodied people are making money off of these disabled people. And look at the foster care system. And this is from let's just be honest, brother Nate, it's from the left. The left is causing all this. They believe in these government programs.
Yeah, they subsidize people's terrible decisions a lot of times. Now, disability isn't necessarily that, but these children a lot of times exist because of terrible decisions of their mothers. It's just the truth, I mean, family planning. I mean, these women are so well educated and smart. Why can't they plan out their families properly? You're all educated and intelligent, but you don't know that you should have your children within the confines of a marriage. Really? Children out of marriages don't end up in foster care at all, usually. It's the children of single moms primarily. It says a lot.
That's actually a fact, brother Nate. And the foster care system has a number of children. I call them ping pong children. They're going back and forth from house to house. And there's a lot of money made, and it's the oldest hustle in the book. We already know it, just like welfare is. But I had to bring it up because, if you're a man, and I'm going to piggyback off of your panel last night, and you deal with a woman, and she has these, I call them hustle kids. You better step out of there because you're going to be on the wrong end of the stick. What say you, brother Nate?
Well, I had a buddy, a real close friend of mine. We're not really close anymore, but he married a woman whose mother was deeply involved in the foster care system. She lived in a double wide trailer and
Uh-oh.
had like 5 or 6 foster children in there. And
Mm.
my buddy, after he married her biological daughter, they all moved into her double wide trailer. And I swear to God. And he had so many horror stories about what he saw with these foster kids, like between 5 and 6 foster kids at any given time. He said they destroyed the bathroom. They wouldn't clean they wouldn't clean up themselves in the kitchen. These are children, 11, 12, 13. These are not adolescent children. And then there would be, on occasion, a new child would be brought to the house, some emergency situation, some abused 2-year-old needs some place to stay. And, the woman would volunteer, and the woman hardly did anything for the children. She made her older daughters do all the
Mhm.
shit for the children.
Yeah, and I've seen a situation where a lady was taking care of some disabled people, and some dude came and had sex with one of the disabled people that she
Oh my
had
God.
in it. But brother, nobody. I'm talking about it because it's happening, brother. And in some of these assisted living facilities, that stories I've heard taking place.
The abuse of the elderly, yeah.
Right, and I'm talking about that because these brother Nate, people are making money off of these failures. Shout out to Deacon Dave. People are making money off of these failures. Okay,
Absolutely.
it's not us. And you have demonic people out here who don't care about the lives of these individuals. Like again, you said in your comment there, yes, Jesse Jackson out there was shakedown artist for racism. So you notice all of the failures that the left has had, the government programs, they've always contracted something out to make money. You notice that Jackson shook down Toyota, BLM basically shook down dead black men. You notice there's a continuous problem or issue with this. And then you go and look at your assisted living facilities. You have people that are inviting disabled individuals in their houses, and they're getting money. Because if people weren't getting money for this, what
They
they
wouldn't be doing it.
and we know it.
No
We
way in hell they'd be doing it. No.
know. And shout out to Big Body. What's going on, brother Matt?
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm just here listening, man. That's all. I'm just tuning in, man. How's everybody doing though?
How you doing, sir?
All right, all right.
Right on. But brother Nate, but with all this happening, okay, you have children, you have elderly, you have people who have HDAD, and even, okay, don't get me wrong, people who are in prison, do I feel bad for them? I feel bad for the ones that shouldn't be there. Now, the ones who are there take their lumps. But there's money made off of private prisons as well.
Oh, absolutely. And Democrats and Republicans make money off of them.
Oh, yeah.
But in all honesty, why are we feeding the prison system with our sons? Why are we doing that? Our sons are not being raised to be law-abiding citizens.
No, they're raised to be criminals.
Yeah. And where do you put criminals?
In the jail.
Thank you. So it's like you can get mad at the criminal justice system for locking up black men. If they're criminals, that's where they belong.
Yes.
Period.
Yes, they do. But for the most part, when it comes to children being shuffled around through the system, the elderly, There's even abuse of the homeless out there. There is. And if you go to some of these cities out here, particularly the left wing cities, you can see a lot of the tent cities out there. You can see a lot of the fecal matter, the urine, all over these cities out here.
It's disgusting.
Well, these individuals are living in poverty, and it's funny, they're not getting help. Now, when we talk about shelters, are there any shelters out there for men? Now, we always talk about women's shelters, but what about men's shelters? You know,
Not many, from what I understand.
right. Not many, not many at all. Now, you haven't had to pay it yet, and thank goodness. Even the child support system, that's a racket too. It's a lot. It's a big racket because just as I was telling one of my panelists out there and uh, commenters in my chat, well, the states have a money incentive. Why do you think? Okay, something else that's going to fit into these social services, we start using the word trans and all these pronouns for education and this fake diversity. This is also open panel too. We can talk about any topic we want. That's why I put it in my title. We go back over some topics you talked about, brother. But you see all of this deviant behavior, and it's getting worse, brother. It's getting worse.
I mean, this is ultimately what the left wants, the collapse of our civilization. I mean, you make the women worthless. You encourage them to be promiscuous, used up and ran through. You tell men acting decisively, acting like a man is wrong, and it's toxic masculinity. So there are no women, there are very few men. Dude, it's about ruining where we live, destroying our country, which is what I believe the left wants to do.
And shout out to Mahogany Roots. Welcome to the chat. Angry Snowman says he's watched a documentary a while back. They said there is one men's shelter in the entire United States. One. That's incredible. But
Wow.
I can say this, brother Nate.
One men's shelter in this terrible patriarchal country. Wow.
Well, a number of them, I'm going to say this. Oh, yeah, we got shelters. They're called jails. You notice, you notice some of them get out of jail and they go back in jail. Now, do you know why they go back in jail? Because they can't deal with the real world. They haven't been taught how to deal with the real world. And it is definitely hard out here in the real world. And then also you go into wars, the military industrial complex. Remember that? Where, people were making money off of war. That's destruction right there. So if you think about it, when it comes to capitalism, who's making all this money? It's not me or it's not you. It's not Brother Matt or anybody in the chat, but who's making all this money?
The elites who, are on the inside of getting a lot of this legislation passed. They build the buildings, they get the contracts, and then the politicians get their kickback after the person gets their government, multi-million-dollar government contract, pay for play a lot of times.
Yeah, and in fact, insider trading. Now, you and I can't do it. Martha, what was her name?
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
She's a convicted felon.
Yeah, into jail because she lied about it. But they and there's this
Nancy Pelosi can do it.
Yeah, she did do it and got caught and nothing happened to her. But there's this other guy. I don't know if you remember him. He was a black congressman from Louisiana. He got caught.
He had money in his freezer.
There you go. You know what I'm talking about.
I remember that dude. Yeah.
$90,000 in his freezer, and he said it was
cash.
Yeah, cold cash. He said it wasn't his. Now, if I had that much money, I'm going to be subject to some type of investigation. But you go on getting into the social services arena. How come nobody's really investigating what's going on with these elderly people, with these kids out here? I don't hear too much investigation about that. I mean, a boyfriend comes in, he does the shakedown on the kids, and even the stepdaddy as well does the shakedown. There's a lot that goes on with that. And then with the elderly, they're getting abused in homes by the people. You know what else had a bad tarnish on it, Brother Nate? And I went there today. The VA had a bad tarnish. I know in some of the major cities, oh, they weren't treating the VA good. I mean,
until Trump turned it around. The members of the gentlemen who go and women who go to the VA had never been so happy. Had received some of the highest customer scores ever when Trump got the VA in order. But my ex-wife works for the VA, and she even admitted how awesome things were under Trump. Fucking ridiculous, man.
Because I know I went to the VA in Chicago, and it was a hellhole. It was a hellhole.
I've heard they let soldiers die. I mean, they do experiments watching you all die. You know.
Well, you know, I believe I did a paper on. I think his name was Dr. Klugman, and he had prisoners from I think it was Homestead or Homespun Prison in Philadelphia, and I believe he was a doctor over at the University of Pennsylvania, and he was trying to get people into the University of Pennsylvania. And his slogan would be, "Come to Penn, I got plenty of skin." In other words, they were doing a lot of experiments on these prisoners in that prison. Now the prison got turned inside out and closed. And this was back in the early 70s. Angry Snowman says you should be asking yourself why possessing $100,000 in cash would make you a subject to a criminal investigation.
Well, you can't even drive around with $100,000 cash.
No,
cops catch you, they'll fucking confiscate.
But $100,000, $90,000 of cash in his freezer. I mean, heck, I'm afraid to run around with $200 of cash in my pocket, bro. But what's going on? But we got a lot of issues, and everybody, shout out to Big Little Nate Dogg 74. It's Little Big Nate. I went down to the Manosphere with him in Atlanta. He's one of the brothers that I get on panels with, and I thank him for being on mine. Spam his channel. Everybody with a wrench. I've already spammed mine in there. He's got good content. Brother Nate is on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So he's got a lot of fiery content. Great debater. Watch him in his debates. He'll get you fired up. That's right. But again, Brother Nate, we have issues even with BLM. Again, they made a lot of money off of who? Dead black men. So did Black Lives Matter? No. But the money for the Black life mattered to them. So there's a lot of shaking down going on everywhere. It is. And I just want to make people aware. The stuff I talk about, Brother Nate talks about, it's really going on out here. And when you come to our spaces, we're going to go freestyle with it because we've read about it, and there's a lot of individuals out here who are making money off of people's failure. Angry Snowman, it's really nobody's business but the man's. Why does the government need to know all the particulars as to why and how you acquired it? Well, that's it. It depends on which side of the spectrum you're on, because the individuals who believe in big government, they want to know everything, like child support. Okay. When they used to go by your gross salary. Now, of course, we don't live on a gross salary. Taxes are taken out of our checks before we see our net salary. And then you also have pre-tax items like if you're working for a company, you have your stocks, you have your life insurance, and you have other particulars like retirement coming out. So basically, it is very illegal for even child support to look at your gross, but they look at your gross, and they do that again to raise the number. And something else that you all need to know about child support. I know in some states, I know the states that I lived in, like Pennsylvania, they will take your salary and her salary and add them up. Why? Because in the end, that gives the custodial parent more money. So if she made more money than you, let's say she made $100,000 and you made $50,000. Well, they're going to look at potentially how much she's putting in child support. Or they're going to say, okay, she makes 66% of the money and you make 33. Well, guess what? Your money is not going to be based off of $50,000. It's going to be based off of $150,000.
Wow.
So that means the money that you're going to be doling out is going to be much greater based on the formula. And a lot of these states use formulas. Again, I call child support a social service too. Now, the only time it really doesn't work for you, if some of you haven't been around, if an individual's getting TANF, everybody knows what TANF is. I know I used to live in the state of Virginia. Again, I said this earlier. An individual would get only $50 if they were getting welfare, because the man is actually paying the welfare back. And again, with child support, there's also a maintenance fee. And maintenance fee is how much you have to pay for them to process all the paperwork. And again, if you don't even pay that maintenance fee, they can attach that to your arrears as well. That's what they say, but that's illegal as well. Shout out to Angry Snowman. No, in the end, that gives the state government more money and more power too. More power.
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of Americans, especially Black Americans, vote for, putting more power in the hand of these disconnected politicians that don't give a shit about us. Say whatever you will about the Republican Party, they encourage small government. They don't always act like that, but at least they encourage it.
They do. They do. And well, Brother Nate, we're today is Wednesday. We're about 3 months away from the midterm election.
Yes, sir.
I mean, 3 months is coming, and already some people. I watched a cussing pastor. I want to see who he's going to be voting for. In fact, Memphis, Tennessee, your home state, your former home state, they're actually having their elections starting tomorrow.
Congress or mayor or what?
No, they're electing judges.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know how Memphis worked. You lived in Memphis, and from what I heard, Memphis.
Shelby County, yeah.
Is that what it is, Shelby County?
Yeah, it's called Shelby County, yeah.
Oh, it's not. From what I saw of it, nah.
No, it's nothing special. Trust me. Memphis isn't. I mean, it's got its cool spots, but I mean, it's a city of people that have been dependent on government and dependent on government programs. The women are all really kind of masculine, and everybody looks like they've been through a ton of shit. It's not a very happy place, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just not.
Well, something else that I want to tell you that's a scam out here too. It's not social services, but it comes under the U.S. Department of Education, and that's financial aid. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know what? I remember. I mean, when I lived in Columbia, Maryland, and I lived in, of course, Pennsylvania, we used to have individuals out here who called themselves financial aid consultants. So what they would do is, okay, they'd come by and tell you about their business and tell you that, okay, you want to go to college, and they want to give you some advice on how to get financial aid. Well, come to find out, what they really wanted to do, some of these companies, is they wanted you to pay them a large sum of money so they can fill out the FAFSA form for you. And so I had asked the question. I said, why should I pay you X amount of dollars? Some of them $150 to fill out the form, to which I can fill out free.
They think black people are idiots.
Well, remember, they think we can't, we can't use the internet, or, you remember what happened on what's his face? What Joe Biden said to what's that announcer? He works the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, the Charlemagne.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black, Jack.
Deserve.
Shout out to Angry Snowman on the counter. What's going on, bro?
Oh, living the poor man's lifestyle.
Oh, okay, now
I think everybody's going to start feeling that poor man's lifestyle. Things keep going the way they're going.
Well, I think the people's mindset, and Brother Nate and I have talked about it. We got too many people who are dependent on government, first of all. And now with the government, and my dad even told me this, the government is contracting a lot of services out. So you have people who are on the outside using some type of mechanism like foster children. They're using disabled people to fill their pockets or line their pockets. And in the end, what that's doing, and we have able-bodied people, they're using their platforms to keep people down, keep people failing. Yeah.
Well, people are failing. They're buying into government programs. If they're buying into government programs, the government stays relevant, and they keep the gears of the machine right on churning.
Yeah, that's true. What say you, Brother Nate?
I mean, you know what I say, man. I mean,
Go ahead and put it out there. Yeah.
Black people, you get the government you deserve.
Yeah. Shout out to Matthew Mittens.
Everybody does, Nate. Everybody gets the government they deserve.
I
Because honestly, the government we have isn't really necessarily a black or a white issue, man. It's become more of an American issue, and there's a bunch of dumbass people that are politically inept, that have no business voting, that are out there casting votes and casting ballots for things they have no business or no understanding of, and all they're doing is they're bringing this house of cards down upon all of us people that have been trying to fight this for decades.
But the problem is, the majority of Black America is still emotionally and psychologically tied to this demonic fucking Democrat Party. White people, white men, the majority of white men don't vote Democrat. They vote Republican, like 60, 75%. White women now are majority Republican voters. The Asian community actually still largely votes Democrat. But nobody's committed to the Luciferian left like black people are. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
And black men
I'll give you that.
Black women.
I'll give you that. There, right there, therein lies the difference. What you just said: black men follow black women.
Yes.
Whereas most generally, white women follow white men.
Yes, the ones that can be worked. Yeah, they'll actually follow what white men say. So
therein lies the problem and the major difference.
White women dominate white leftist men. They dominate them. They're cucks. They're weaklings. I mean, how much more do we need to see of this party to know we have no business associating with?
Yeah, and they really make no sense with their policies. I mean, everything that they're doing. I know you debated, that knucklehead you debated, Brother Nate, JR.
JR, yeah.
That dude's an idiot.
Oh, you know about him, Angry Snowman?
Yeah, I watched that debate. Dude, I'm going to tell you what, you had way more patience with that moron than I would have.
I don't know. He was trying to... The way he was trying to come at Brother Nate, he's coming at him like Nate was making up something, and I'm like, well, no.
Well, I found it interesting that he wanted to be the spokesperson for Black America, and he's a Latino.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
You know, aren't those the same colored demographic that get pissed off when white people try to be the spokesperson of anything, even if they're trying to be the spokesperson of all things white?
I don't care. Y'all, you could, if you want an all-white club, man, do your thing. You know, it doesn't bother me.
No, what I'm saying is he's the same type of demographic. He's your typical leftist that if a white person tried to speak on behalf of black
they'd be
or
erased.
minority groups, they'd be losing their motherfucking minds on it, saying, what business do you have in a black or a brown space like you are? Know your line, get in your lane, yada, yada, yada.
He's our brown brother, allegedly. That's why.
Because I heard the gentleman.
The only thing that makes us similar to him is we were all born in the same country.
Oh, boy. These leftists, man. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah, and these are the ones who come out and they talk about things that aren't fair. Well, a lot of your corporations have sat left as well. And what these corporations want to do, they want to eat up all the mom and pop's business, so they have all the power. And when they have the power, they control the markets, and you know what's going to happen. Now, I don't know about you. Well, Brother Angry Snowman lives here in Indiana. Brother Nick, you see your gas prices going down? It's funny why the gas prices are going down. I mean, ours at one time were like $5.25, $5.50.
You know why that's happening, right?
Why is that happening?
Well, you got the midterm election coming up. Not only that, from what I've read, Biden has completely emptied out our strategic oil reserves.
Up in Arnwar? Up in that Arnwar place. Up in Alaska?
Yep. He's put all of our strategic oil reserves on the market.
So, and his first order of business as president was to executive order to destroy the Keystone Pipeline. Wow.
Yes.
Yes,
so he could turn around and sell our oil reserves to China.
And he also destroyed fracking as well.
What a piece of shit. Oh.
It almost makes me wonder if he's really even running the country. Not to try and get your channel struck, but there's too much weird shit going on with him that makes me question whether or not he's even running the country at this point.
I think he's getting abused as an elderly man too. I really do.
You look at the decisions that have been made, and those are the decisions that women would have made.
Right.
Think about it. Really think about it. All the decisions that have gotten us where we are today since Biden has been elected are all emotionally driven decisions that a woman would make. And
all symbolic decisions, like the first trans, the first black Afro-American in the Supreme Court, the first Afro-American.
Correct.
So you can't.
The first gay press secretary.
Correct. Right. There you go. Yeah. Yes.
This is what these freaks celebrate. Yeah.
It makes me wonder if Jill and Come Swallow Harris and Crazy Nancy aren't the three running the country right now.
That could be, but it just doesn't have that. I don't know, that excitement. I mean, no. The press secretary. No one like the other press secretaries that were in the previous administration. I mean, she can't even answer questions.
Nope. Constantly getting caught in lies. 2 consecutive quarters of downward economic growth. Downward economic performance is not a recession. Did you see that?
Well, did you know that letting people go back to work was actually generating some 55 million new jobs as well. Letting people go back to work. That was job growth, and job generation by our president.
Shout out to Matthew Mittens. The mentioned Joe is definitely not in charge. He is a Manchurian sock puppet. Remember how much fanfare that Barry got when he went to the alleged White House party meeting several months ago. Shout out to Matthew Mittens. By the way, Matthew Mittens, he brought it home, brother Nate, on your show last night about the stepdad. You know, we may have to extend and get into that as well about the stepdaddy, because you know we do look at that now. Again, some of these children with the boyfriends and the stepdaddies, particularly when they're young. I've heard of the children getting neglected and abused, and the mother already knew it. What do you all think about that?
I mean, it speaks to
I've seen it happen.
single motherhood these days. So many of these women, I'm not saying it's true of all single moms, but
No, it's not true at all.
there are so many instances. Like I said, the single greatest security threat to the United States of America is single motherhood. It's not Russia or China. Those alleged enemies pale in comparison to the damage single mothers are doing internally in our country, man. It is horrible.
Shout out to Awesome Alice.
Ruining our entire country.
That's right. And shout out to Awesome Alice. Have you looked at all the guns they're trying to ban? Oh, yeah, I hear that's coming too.
HR 1808, I think, is the bill's name. Yep.
Yep, that'll ban all guns except for single-shot rifles and muzzle loaders.
And they got 2 Republicans ready to vote for it.
I heard.
Yeah, 2 Republicans. That
I don't know who
that are
they
going
are,
to get
but
primaried and tossed the fuck out of their jobs, dog.
yeah, yeah. So again, they're after the guns for all these shootings that take place. Well, they can try to ban guns or certain guns, but you know the criminals are going to get them.
They can try and ban guns, and I'd like to see what armed force they're going to use to take against the armed populace to try and remove them guns.
I would love Beto O'Rourke and all the other gun grabbers to show up to the white boys I know's houses and try
Facts.
to take their guns. I would love to watch that shit.
You realize that the entire country, the entire country has more guns than the entire military.
There's 120.5 guns for every 100 Americans.
That's just guns. That's not counting the ammo out there either, folks.
Yeah, it's just guns. It's just guns.
But you can bet your ass most of these guys that have them kind of guns have another safe that's full of nothing but ammo.
That's true. Awesome Alice says it's HR 1808 and hands.
1808, like I told you. Yeah.
Well, that's why I said they're trying to eliminate all guns except for single-shot rifles, and I guess you could say your single-shot pistols, your 6-shooters and 8-shooters, and your muzzle loaders. Anything with a high-capacity mag, which would be a magazine holding 10 or more rounds. Anything that has the capacity to be what they consider semi-automatic, which is 1 bullet for 1 trigger pull. That's going to be gone, and almost every single one of your handguns, damn near every handgun everybody owns is a semi-automatic. Almost every rifle everybody owns is a semi-automatic. Semi-automatic simply means 1 bullet per trigger pull.
When they want us to go back to the 1800s, we will get the tax and make costs go back to the time when $5
See you in the morning.
could buy us make some food. Brother Mittens is correct. I will give them my 11 firearms, bullets first. I think 78% of the Democrats like their guns. It would not go for it hard to heart.
Well, that's why this 1808, HR 1808, is being done very quietly. No fanfare, no stories really. On mainstream media, they want to be very quiet with this.
You mean like they sneaked in that Obamacare?
Yes.
They don't even want us going back to the 1800s. They want us going back farther than that, because even in the 1800s, this country was still pretty well armed. And back in the 1800s, Americans still had the lawful ability to be able to own the same kind of armament as the military did.
And shout out to the poll question. Earlier, I talked about social services, and that includes foster care, that includes disability. Do you all think it's a hustle? So far, I got 14 votes, 86% yes, 14% no. And see, everything is tying together. You got the gun lobby. Matthew Benton says here are some trigger words: Bushmaster, MM4, A2, Thermo 30 round. And that, Alice says they want to do a grandfather clause, but unless you're a cop or government officials approved by the government, we wouldn't be to pass them down on our kids. No new gun permits and a buyback program.
They can buy back these nuts.
And how many countries had absolute genocide take place after they banned the guns? Fucking China, Russia, Turkey with the Armenians, Uganda had a slaughter of Christians after they banned the guns. There's example after example after example of what happens, especially to minority communities, after they ban the guns.
And
let these niggas get killed, man.
Let's not forget, Nazi Germany is one of the biggest places that we can remember in history.
Yeah.
Now you also know, when it comes to the police, you know who really didn't want defunding the police? The individuals in the minority neighborhoods like Chicago.
Whoa, but no, BLM represents what black people want, don't they?
Well, sarcastically they do, but not black men, Brother Nate.
Gotcha.
They represented the black female, and
No, they represented black lesbians. Black lesbians matter. That's what BLM stands for.
I like black lesbian misandry.
Yeah, they were. And Matthew Mittens, I did foster care back in 2002. It is morphed into something bad now. It was not bad then. Oh, it is bad now. It's all this stuff with these kids out here. It's a scam. These kids are going in and out of the foster care system, and some of them end up in jail or they end up dead. But in the long run, they're dysfunctional. Alice says the longest gun grab I've ever seen. They tried to in history. It has pages and pages. I mean, you think about it, all these social issues are tying together: kids, elderly, guns. And what do you all think about the? You think? Does anybody think welfare is a scam? The EBT cards are
Always
a scam.
has been.
Oh yeah, I mean these women misuse that EBT money like crazy. They're trading it for 50 cents on the dollar, 30 cents on the dollar, getting cash in exchange for that. They've been doing that shit for years.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you all. Look, somebody sold me $250 when they had food stamps for $50, and
God damn, that's a deal, dog.
I had to take that deal, Nate, in my cabinets.
I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you.
But now, wait a minute now. Before the cracking starts, guess what? I did work. My tax, I was just getting a little return on my tax money there, okay? I mean, don't we pay for it? Even though 2% is in the welfare budget, it's still taxes that we go to work and comes out of our check, right? I mean, let's just be honest. The social service system is all a fraud in itself. It is. We all know that. Look who's in the social service industry. Yeah. EBT, Christ on crutch. We've seen the nice vehicles, the nails, the weed, the Gucci purse, and the dirty children with the baby mama. Brother Nate, you got to take that one. This is you right there. So, the dirty baby mama. Baby mama. Yeah.
Say something to me, Leon?
Not the dirty baby mama. It was the look at me, I'm fabulous baby mama with the dirty little fucking grubby kids running around behind her that look like they ain't taking a bath in a month.
Yeah, so they take that money and use it on themselves. Alice says they use the foster system as kids' sell-off program. They make money off of adoption. They're trying to buy guy friends' kids, and said he still should have to pay child support, and that lady got fired. Well, as we know, child support, getting that word, it's a scam too.
I'm not going to get into it today.
Look, I've been down that road too, brother Angry Snowman. It's
I'm old, 60K in arrears, so got a little bit of different perspective. But yeah, I hear you.
but now,
No, your perspective's still the same, Nate. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because if that was you that owed 60K, you'd be sitting in prison.
Oh,
Yeah,
no doubt.
no license. And you know something about that too, and I knew about it a long time ago. But they also have work release programs, so prisoners who owe arrears, they have to work off their child support. But what happens when they get out? They go back to jail because they're still in arrears.
If that was him that owed 60K every time he used his social security number for any kind of income coming in, he might get 1 or 2 paychecks before child support just starts digging their fingers in it.
And you know when you're
There's all kinds of things that are different there, brother, and it's all because you have a dick and she has a vagina.
Well, full disclosure, I never pursued her. I threatened her a couple of times, but many men.
Look, bro, if that was you that owed $60,000, she wouldn't have to pursue you. Child support would pursue you for her.
My family would cheer me being in jail.
That's
right. That's what he deserves.
Oh yeah. Your family wouldn't even be backing you, brother Nate.
Yeah, exactly, dog. Exactly, man.
And also adoption. Adoption is another. All these adoption is a scam. And this is where individuals are adopting some of these elderly folks to live in with them. Again, it's a money scam. And shout out to Men's Daily. It also hurts families that want kids that can't have the ones who actually want kids. When the state gets involved, it becomes crooked.
There are more people. There's like over 600,000 couples looking to adopt. There are more people every year that want to adopt children than there are children aborted every year, without fail.
You know, brother Nate, getting on that issue, it's funny. You talked about the abortion issue, right?
Yes, sir.
I take it from a different view. That view is right, but I also talk about what about the ones who are already here killing each other, i.e., Chicago, Baltimore, Los Angeles. You know where I'm going with that, brother Nate.
Absolutely.
In certain communities. What about those ones that are here?
Two young rappers died back to back.
I heard.
Two young rappers died, one the day after the other.
And nobody would have known their names if they wouldn't have died.
Yeah, because I never even heard of this until I heard the cussing pastor. This one he mentioned from Memphis called Young Dolph. He went to the cookie store or something and got there.
Yeah. That was several rappers ago though. There's been several rappers died since him.
I never even heard of him.
Wow, Young Dolph can spit. I like Young Dolph. I'll be honest with you.
I never heard of this stuff. Nola Girl posts some videos on EBT scam examples. Yeah, there are a lot of them going on out there. And the worst one, brother Nate, the one you put up last night. Person didn't have enough to pay for a bag of chips.
With your tax money. Her welfare card that is full of your tax money. She didn't have enough on her card to buy a $3 bag of chips. And she put a battery in that nigga's back, wound him up, and sent him to his death as she stood there. Fucking amazing.
Yep. There are a lot of stores even get in trouble. We had a store lose its license for trading food stamps for cigarettes, gas, and beer. What? But you can buy booze with an EBT card?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
Hey, let me ask Snowman something. Why aren't there any songs white men write to their mothers about how much they love them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, black guys, we got all these mama songs.
Yeah, we do, like Dear Mama.
You know,
I always love my mama.
We tend to not think too highly on mama's boys over here in the white sector.
Ah,
Wow.
interesting.
You know,
Brother English,
if you're a mama's boy, generally you're moist and soft, and we don't have no
Okay, it
need
makes
for
sense.
Brother Angry Snowman, if you can, I've put it on my channel. Of course, it's very hard. I think Nate was on there and a couple. I had this show called I Want a Mama's Boy, and these boys were soft and moist. And you know what? YouTube came and clipped it. So I had to do it differently. But it comes on TLC, I Want a Mama's Boy. And it shows you some of those moist done, and they were Caucasian. And these are the ones you're also talking about. Now, Alice says the mamas are on a lot of country songs, but when it comes,
I asked Celine.
Not really.
I asked her specifically to check country music. Also, she
Not
said
really.
she
There might be a
found them.
few. There's a few, just like there's a few rock and roll songs. I mean, if you want to consider Ozzy a white male, you know, he did write "Mama, I'm Coming Home" and you know this, that, and the other.
It's the first time people's telling me this shit.
But
Yeah, I
you know,
know
at the same time, you know, Ozzy was on a lot of drugs when he wrote that song, so that might have contributed to his, you know, his mama's boy antics and his softisms.
Alice writes Mama's House, but it's not a love song. It's just appreciate for her by bringing up Papa Bear in the song. Speaking of Papa Bear, you know, if it's a father, particularly, he's a Rolling Stone, like the Temptations used to sing. It's always something bad about the father. He's drinking and stealing in the name of the Lord. That's what we hear in our song. Yeah,
You hear a little bit of that in rock and roll, but yet again, you know, most of rock and roll and what you consider rock music is all directed towards that woman that fucking crushed your life. If you really want to get down to it, most rock music it all revolves around love of a woman, not your mama, not your sister, not your grandmama, but a woman or the lack thereof.
Very interesting.
Let's get the likes up, people.
I have noticed a lot of rap and R&B is revolved around the mom.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dear Mama, Tupac's probably most famous rap song about mom. You know,
There's a song out back in the old in the 70s. I always loved my mama.
what you call it? From the Soul Food soundtrack, Boys to Men.
Oh,
Mama,
yeah. Now you know during that day and age. Speaking of that, Nate, the brothers were singing. The brothers were singing "Simpin," while you had the Mary J. Blige just talking about drama and waiting to exhale.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah, there's a couple of sisters. You know, Angie Stone had that,
Angie
that
Stone,
song,
Black
Brother.
Brother. Yeah, back in
Yeah. That was a good song. I like
That was a good song. That was a good song. Matthew Mitten says there is much reference to mama in country music then and even now.
Really? Okay.
Okay.
Right. I'm learning.
I'm learning too. Matthew Mitten says the rock music more of getting rejected or screwed over by the woman lover. And then there's a rock group called Rat Out, has several songs on that. Wow. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that because and heck, how often do you listen to the radio, brother Nate?
Never.
Anyway.
I never listen to the radio these days. Never.
I mean, you know, like I said, there's some songs out there like I tell you, like SZA.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I hate you.
Pretty bitch.
Yeah.
Pretty bitch, Leon. Woo.
See, I'm way out of touch, man, because I don't listen to no radio at all whatsoever. I listen to what I listen to, and that's it.
Well, there's another one out there. I think it's her, HER, or no,
Yeah, I know you're talking about too. Yeah.
Summer Walker and Ari. I can't remember her other name, but she says unloyal. Talks about, but she's blaming it on a man for being unloyal. You know.
I mean, it's how the story goes, Leon.
Well, it is.
Women are just as likely to cheat for the most part, but the only cheating that counts is the cheating men do. That's it.
So they're the real SBE shame, blame, and
Well, look, you can almost guarantee if a woman tells you that she's been cheated on, that she cheated.
Yeah, man, it's just,
I mean, let's just be real.
I mean, American women at one time had a tremendous amount of mystique. You know, you threw your jacket down over a puddle, you open the door for them, you know, don't you disrespect that lady in front of me and all that shit. Dude, it's all gone, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all gone.
Well, they did that to themselves.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Feminism murdered chivalry.
When they
Nobody
decided they
else.
wanted to compare with, or when they decided they wanted to compete with men, that ruined all that mysticism.
Mm.
Yeah. Celine says, Matt, I never knew white American had songs that related to mom. Alice says, there's a country song about daddy's hands. I know
Yeah,
that.
what about Daddy's hands? Daddy's hands being the hands that kept your ass in line. That's what that song's about.
Now, I know there was a song that Bill Withers sang. I think it was in Family Reunion by Tyler Perry, Grandma's Hands or something like that. I remember that one.
I'm not familiar with that. Okay.
I mean, that Daddy's Hands song's in the chorus to that, Alice. Daddy's hands were soft and sweet when I done right. Daddy's hands were hard as steel when I done wrong.
Oh,
Sounds to me like they're talking about a daddy keeping his women in line.
Oh, put the slap down like Dr. Dre used to do. a lot of country music and blues that talks about the mama. And Rat rolled out in '84 and put several LPs on the market, and it was forever getting screwed over by a woman. Ha. Very creative, give it. And Alice is not always, because I know men that have been never cheating on her at an individual level. That's what he thinks. And Celine comes back and says, women ruin dating.
See, now we got a woman who's keeping it real out there in the chat.
Women ruin dating. Wow.
That's why I respect Celine. She keeps it real.
Well, she's young too. She hasn't had an opportunity to be poisoned yet. So,
I would hate to be a young man or a young woman in today's dating society. Not for me.
My son is 24, man. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I bet the prospects are fucking like 0 to nothing.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, but Brother Nate, how is your son handled? I mean, I met him at the Manosphere,
Handsome cat, mixed martial art. I mean, chicks love this man. They love this boy. But
And that's the problem for him, ain't it? They throw themselves at him.
Well, it's not a problem because I told him when he was 13, you had Vine, you had Instagram. He got his first cell phone. I said, son, you're going to like girls, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely natural. But when you look at a girl's social media, if she's cursing, if she's doing anything inappropriate, I told him, I said, there's nothing you can do with that girl. Nothing. So now he's 24. He just turned 24. The first thing he'll do after, these chicks want to give him, they give most guys, here's my Instagram, here's my Snapchat, and he'll get it. It's usually on private because they're doing all this filthy, ratchet shit. But he'll go onto their Instagram and see all this fucking debauchery and nonsense. And, I'll ask him about the girl a couple of weeks later. Hey, whatever happened with such and such? Dad, I couldn't do nothing with her. I couldn't do nothing with her.
That's sad.
Yeah, man.
Hookup dating, or hookup culture destroyed dating. That's a fact.
Who was hookup culture actually? Who was it being sold to?
It benefits the alpha chads and most American women.
So it was marketed to women. That's who hookup culture was marketed to.
And
I mean, it really was, if you think about it. Women were the only ones on any of these dating apps that got to do everything that the dating app provided for free. All they had to do was punch in their information and wait for all the Brads and Chads to come calling.
That is true, because back in the days, even when they had dating sites out there, women got it for free and the men had to pay.
And consider this. To a certain degree, women civilize men. Let me explain.
Go ahead.
Women civilize men sexually. In
Yes.
order to gain access to this attractive, sweet, nice woman that makes our day bright, I gotta devote myself to her and stop fucking all these broads in these streets. So the woman used to be a civilizing agent on a man sexually. He had to get himself calmed down. That's where the term settle down comes from. A man settles down, he calms down, he stops sticking his dick in every female he can.
You mean it doesn't mean to just settle for whatever's in front of him?
No, it means men calming down their lustful desires for random fucking pussy. And now that women no longer bear that standard, they're waiting forever to be married, they're fucking themselves into zero value. Everything's gone to shit. You can't act like men. You were the civilizing agent for men. You helped you did your part to keep our civilization in order. And now you're not doing that.
Right. That's a fact because look, Leon and Nate, how many successful men, regardless of skin tone, how many successful men out there, extremely successful men, always attribute their success to the woman
Oh my God.
who helped
Most
them get
men
to where they are?
Most men do.
Yeah.
Because
Even
if it wasn't for my wife, I would have never been able to go down the path I went. It took having her in order for me to create this.
Well, shout out to Celine. She says women disrespecting themselves ruin dating. She also says I always kept my social media modest. Alice says people think social media is how to date now. That's why I always date the old-fashioned way. Celine said women started a hookup culture. And Alice says men that were sold porn and false reality of women and women using liberation destroy dating because I know everything and he don't do it my way. He's not a man crap. Well, that's feminism started all that.
Celine, you're making the right choice. You might end up with, if you fuck around, you might end up with exploding pussy disease.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
But you know, with all that dysfunctional hookup culture, this is what's led to dysfunctional kids in the foster care system. You have dysfunctional families. And with this dysfunctional culture, you have people who have no manners. And I've seen videos where young men, I think it was in New York, where this young man just punched an old lady right in the face. Yeah, that kind of attitude. This is when, because you get a number of individuals up there who say they got entrepreneurship or they got businesses, but then a number of them have all these foster kids out there, and they're also taking care of family members. To take care of family members, the state can pay you some incentive as well too. That's out there.
Well, here's
Niggas
something to
be
really
putting
think
hospital
about.
beds in their living room.
Here's something to think about when it comes to the foster care system and the state foster care system. Why does it take less qualifications to work for the state and foster kids than it does for a private person to actually adopt a foster child from the state?
Look, like Leon said, they're rackets. You have all these government agencies feeding.
Shut up, Clue. Eat a dick.
Tons of different feminists and liberals and leftists, their whole careers, their jobs, their pensions, all tied up in this fucking dysfunction. Single mothers and all the goddamn problems that come out of single motherhood. People are making their livelihoods off this shit. The court system makes like $51 billion a year from the processing of child support payments. Dude, it's a fucking racket.
Certainly it is.
Fucking racket.
Certainly it is. Now, Celine says, I'm waiting till I meet the right person to have sex. Alice says, that's good. I don't get engaged. Don't get engaged against your moral just because he says, I love you. Learn the hard way. My son's father was my first relationship. Take things very slow. And something else. And I know some people have them, and I'm not saying everybody. What about the appearance of someone with the colored hair out here? the hundreds of earrings, and some of
Leon,
them.
it represents rebellion from structure. That's
Yep,
all.
that's why I used to do it when I was a young man. You know, that's something that people should grow out of eventually.
Brother, I'm going to tell you, brother Angry Snowman, I've seen some old men, some of them, and I saw one in Frankfurt. If you know where Frankfurt is, he had a bald head up the top. He had gray hair on the side and a ponytail, and he had hippie earrings. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? Now, we talk about the women coloring their hair. The boys are doing the same thing. I've seen black boys with blue hair. I'm like, what the heck is going? Look at little Nas X.
Look, when you run across someone like that, you need to be asking what's not wrong with the person, because it's probably going to be a shorter list.
Right. Shout out to Free Zone Lou. Welcome to the chat. The Cyber. Shout out to Cyber. I find tattoos on women very unappealing. I don't care if men have them because they're already unappealing.
The fact that you had to point that out, Cyber, I'm questioning you. That sounds suspect.
Shout out to Survivor. Well, but appearance means a lot of things, and I know we talk about that every day. But
It's the woman's rebellious nature, Leon. She wants the way I show men, the way I demonstrate that I don't care what a man thinks. Let me destroy myself. How completely fucking stupid. I'm going to cover myself in ratchet ass jailhouse tattoos to show men that you can't boss me around. I'm going to leave the house with pink hair and a septum piercing. I'm going to show him, you stupid fucking females. You're ruining yourself.
You know, in my 20s, I thought that was attractive. Now that I'm in my 40s, I think it's retarded.
yeah, see, nobody ever thinks. Nobody
never found that shit appealing.
Yeah. Nobody ever.
Well, I was your typical white dude, though, man. You know.
I couldn't do it, man. I can't do it, dog.
But like I said, now that I'm in my 40s, I find that shit, like you said, it's just ratchet. Now, mind you, my wife, she has tattoos. But she's also married, and they're also in a place where they don't show unless she wants them to be seen.
No. Well, okay, so you get a little class. Well,
so she doesn't have Jazzo's bitch tattooed across her neck?
No.
Oh, okay, good deal. Good.
No, not at all.
Right.
And she wouldn't have Jazzo's bitch tattooed across her neck. It'd be Brian's bitch tattooed across her neck.
Alice says tattoos are overrated. I worked as a tattoo parlor drawing tats. People surprised I didn't have any because I worked there. And Celine says, I highly recommend Professor Sam Vaknin's playlist on contemporary sexuality. Huh.
Men's Daily Advice is what hit it right there. Hit the head right on the nail. Or hit the nail right on the head. However you say that. A woman with tons of piercings and a crap load of tattoos and dyed hair with different colors are signs of desperation of attention they need from people in general. They're just trying to get your attention with all the bright, pretty colors. You know, kind of like going down the midway of the carnival. That's why they have all these bright, curly, or bright, exciting colors that catch your eye and shit. That way it catches your eye. Women are trying to do the same thing. They're trying to turn themselves into the midway at the carnival.
Do you know how much attention you would get if you were feminine, cooperative, physically fit, and submissive? Do you know how much fucking attention you would get? Ugh, these women are idiots. And I'm not talking about all women, but a lot of women are fucking idiots, man.
Celine, my sister, went through a midlife crisis, got a tattoo, and then took her senior, my niece, her daughter, who was 17 at the time, and they went out and got matching tattoos.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah. That I thought that was a win, you know. Went from being one of the most strictest women I'd ever seen with her kids to being one of the moms that, you know, goes out and gets her daughter's hair dyed green and purple and pink and getting matching tattoos and piercings, and I think my sister lost her mind.
Wow.
Well, Survival, shout out to him. He says, kids are impressionable. When I was 17, I thought Eminem was the coolest. So I got earrings. It didn't last long. And he also says, kids are rebellious. My dad said I couldn't have earrings, so I did it myself. It sucked. And Celine says, my mom went through a midlife crisis, wanted me to get a tattoo with her, and I talked her out of it.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Listen to that.
Well, you got some of these old heads out here, some of them brothers, who are doing the same thing because they want to go back to that rebellious stage themselves. They do.
Sad, man. Sad, and you just got to sit back and let them destroy themselves. Don't. Your job is not to do anything for them. Let them fucking tear themselves to pieces. Just let them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Shout out to Alice. I do color hair when I do benefit when I do my benefit rides. It helps sells T-shirts and other products at the benefits. Never dyed my hair, but add color hair like my red, white, and blue. It also brings me work. And Celine says, my mom was like, "Oh, I think tattoos are so cool." I told her, "You're foolish." Wow.
Oh wow!
His daughter got more sense than a mom does. I tell you.
Yeah.
That's terrible. And, well, you know what? That's that Gen X thing. I mean, we're all Gen Xers up here, and I don't know what happened, man. Did our generation get screwed by the baby boomers, or I don't know.
No, I think we fell into that American dream trap. Personally,
I think feminism. By the time feminism rolled around, it was working, getting up a full head of steam, and in the '90s, it just everything went to shit. The talk show circuit, music, TLC with their condoms in their glasses, and just everything started to go to shit in the '90s.
Again, I'm gonna say the whole American dream generation is what we are, man. We were taught to, try and keep up with the Joneses. If we weren't out working and making just as much money as the neighbors and going on just as many extravagant, vacations and whatnot, and our kids didn't have, the top 9 name brand shit.
We don't think an element of that is positive, a competition among men?
Nah, well,
so?
to a degree, yes, an element of that is positive, but when all you're doing is the rat race and you forget about the core elements of what life is about and all you're chasing is paper, then you lose, then you're going to lose, your focus becomes on worldly things and doesn't become on, your home life and the things that are of real value.
Shout out to Crew. He says Gen X was raised by blood-sucking boomers. And some were raised, because my parents aren't boomers. They were actually born in the early 40s. They came from the silent generation. And my parents are still living at 81 and 82.
Wow.
Celine says, my mom is a late baby boomer, born in 1964. Cybertoxin says they call it a dream, because you don't have to be asleep to believe it.
Facts.
So, Carlin. Facts. And Celine says, my mom wants to recapture her youth, and she's married, and she tells me to dress in a certain way when I like being modest. It's like polar opposites of what you think of a mom and daughter. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Well, it's awesome that Celine's able to withstand, the pressure from one of the people who's had the most influence on her. I mean, when your mom is kind of not telling you exactly what's in your
just put it out there like it really is. When your mom's ratchet.
Nah, I'm not gonna say that.
Well, she's basically said it without saying it.
Yeah.
She did. Yeah, she said it. Survive on 1 year off being a Gen X. Actually, you're 3 years off, Gen X. Somebody put up, when was Gen X?
79.
No,
79 was the last year of Gen X.
Was it? It wasn't 80?
No, I'm pretty sure it was 79.
Somewhere around there.
I thought it was 64, 65 to 79.
The 64 is the end of the baby boomers. Baby boomers was 46 to 64, and I believe 65 to 79 or maybe 80 was Gen X. And then what's the other one that started? Gen Y? Who's Gen Y? The millennials.
No, you don't have Gen Y. It's millennials after Gen X.
1981 to 86 or something like that. I don't remember the date.
And then there's that weird generation that's only 5 years. That's what me and Survival actually part of, even though we're part of other bigger
Gen-
generations as well. We're part of that group called Zennials.
Yeah, you're a Gen Xer, brother.
Yeah, but from 78 to 83 is what they call the Zennial generation, and that's the generation of kids that grew up without technology and with technology at the same time. They watched that transition.
Sorry.
Right. Alice says, out of my 4 kids, my oldest brother is the only one with tattoos. Mom, dad never got tattoos. My aunt, a biker, so she got tattoos. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, my mother got tattoos in her late 40s. Ex-wife got tattoos a couple of years ago. I mean, just
Is your mom still living
these
there?
ridiculous women in their midlife crises.
Now, you know, my mom never got tattoos. Neither did my dad.
Mom did. My mom got a teddy bear tattoo on her mammary gland. Yeah.
Oh,
Shit, I got a half sleeve on one arm, almost full
Oh,
sleeve.
you're a dude.
I got a quarter sleeve on the other arm. I got
Dudes, you do what the
I
fuck
got a
you
sock on one leg and a half sock on the other leg.
I don't give a shit what dudes do. Dudes can do whatever the fuck they want. Women are supposed to be pretty and feminine, and I don't care what women's tattoos detract from that. The problem with tattoos is you run the risk of such a large pool of men not taking you seriously. Why would you
That
do
is true.
anything to limit yourself?
that's true. That's true.
I'll be honest with you. With me and tattoos, it depends on if the tattoo's tasteful or not.
Well, there's some out there. There's some out there that, okay, let's just be honest.
Like, I'm not letting my wife get a tramp stamp. That ain't happening.
Oh no. But let's be honest. I've seen some guys up there, and where they don't look good on guys with the teardrops. You know what a teardrop means?
Murder.
Yeah.
Murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of guys that are putting these teardrops on their eyes, they ain't never done anything
They
like
ain't
that.
murdered nobody, man.
The only thing they murdered was a bag of chips out of the pantry.
Cybertoxin. My brothers and I had one of those micro recorders when we were kids. We recorded everything from stupid jokes to stupid fart noises. I don't know what we did with the tapes though. And I was back there when they got rid of the 8 tracks and went on to the cassette, and then they went to the CD.
I remember trying to record my favorite rap songs on my dual cassette.
Oh,
Wow.
remember that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. You remember taking already made cassette tapes and stuffing wads of paper inside that little hole on top? That way you could record over top of what was on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what
Man, I ruined so many of my mom's cassette tapes. She was pissed.
I'm gonna tell you what I did. Now, back in the days when they had albums, they had a couple. They had the album. They had the big albums, which were the 33s, and then they had one called a 45. It had a little. You had to put that
Little one, yeah. You had to put
Yeah.
that little yellow thing in it.
Yeah, you had to put that attachment in there because the hole was bigger in the center of it.
Now, if you didn't have that, I used to try to line it up.
How well did that work out for you?
It didn't work too well because it sounded.
Them 45s, they had to spin at a higher rotation too, so they were always getting thrown around if they didn't have that little
Well,
thing
you know,
in
when
it.
my dad was coming up, they didn't have what they got them in the 60s. They had 78s.
Yeah, most
Well, I
record
got
players,
two.
they have a 78, 45, and a 33 and a third selector on it.
They used to also have 16s, but I mean that was way back. You get a lot more music on a 16.
Man, there was something so beautiful about that analog record player, man.
Still got one,
Music.
man.
Beautiful. Oh,
Alice says, my mom doesn't wear makeup or anything like that. Very soft-spoken woman. She doesn't even cuss. I need to work on my bad words. Then working on those cars all day long. Survival. I think it's possible to have tasteful feminine tattoos on women. My boy, brother Men's Daily, Silent Generation was a true generation of traditional examples of how families stayed together. Even during the struggle, they stuck together. No independent, I don't need no man crap existed. And
See my
going
record
back-
player hanging on the wall?
Is that a record?
Yeah, it's a record player hanging on the wall.
Really?
I got you. Turntable.
Huh.
Sure
Huh.
enough.
I never seen a turntable like that. Was it Sony? Somebody new in my chat. G Davis 2050. Hello, I don't have any tattoos, no weave, no fake nails, no piercing. Too old to do that. Well, that's good. That's good. We do not take dysfunctional people very seriously because they are delusional. And if you don't believe me, go to Kendra G stuff and you'll get a good laugh. Brother Nate plays it all the time. And other Alice says, I think I've been a tomboy too long. I got better over the years. I still ain't giving up my wrenches or fishing pole or crossbow or other poo-poos or my bug out bag us. Okay. All right. All right. Well, and that's the thing too. My boy Men's Daily mentioned about the traditional generation. Now it's funny because why do men know how to cook better than a number of women today?
I can cook better than every woman I know. Every single one of them.
I mean, me and Nate always talk about cooking. I mean, what is it? I mean, cooking was something very domestic. Women did it.
They were convinced not to take pride in anything that connects them to their femininity. The Luciferian left told them, you're substandard. You're not realizing being the full expression of a woman, limiting yourself by being responsible for the nutritional needs of your fucking family. It's ridiculous. Listening to these miserable white liberal whores. Oh my God, they're terrible.
Shout out to Clue because cooking is a science. Well, cooking is a science, and
Easy, man. Them's my people you talking about.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Those
literally
bitches
chemistry.
are horrible.
Survival to survival. Shout out to Free Zone Lou. I still got the link down. Anybody else that wants to come up, and
I think I might feel some type of way hearing you talk bad about the non-melanated woman, man. God damn.
Listen long enough. You'll hear me talking shit about the black bitch and all these fucking leftists. They are poison.
and everybody in the chat, spam Brother Nate's channel and Angry Snowman's channel. How do you got wrenches? I'm already spam mine down there and spam mine again since I'm the host of this show today. And Brother Nate will be broadcasting tomorrow. And somebody else joining the panel. What's up, Free Zone?
Oh, God, we got a coon up here. We got a coon in the room.
What's up, Free Zone?
What's happening? What's happening, everybody? What's the Salute 411? No man, Nate.
Hey,
Man,
how's that
so-
baby treating you?
She's actually pretty decent, man. She's outside of being a regular baby. She doesn't cry unnecessarily. You give her what she wants and she's good. I couldn't ask for a better baby.
Enjoy it while you can, brother. That's all I got for you. Enjoy it while you can.
Oh, babies are beautiful, Free Zone. They're one. Is this your first?
It's my first, yes, sir.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
It's
man.
awesome, man. Just take a lot of photos. Take all the videos you can take, man. You're gonna love sitting and looking back at that shit. And you can't. You got your memories, but having the videos and the pictures, it means the world, man. Enjoy it. You and the missus enjoy it.
Yep.
That's it, man.
That's one thing I got to give the wife credit for, man. She takes lots of videos and pictures, man. Sometimes to the point to where it drives me nuts, but
I'll be honest. I didn't take a lot of pictures and videos. I did. Single dad. That's something a woman does. She makes sure she chronicles the family and the photos, and everybody gets Christmas pictures and shit. I didn't do that shit, man. I'm paying.
You lived in the moment. You're a man.
I didn't do that shit.
Exactly.
All right, shout out to Alice. Let me read the chat here. There's independent and self-sufficient. I give it to the men, our best on the grill. Y'all are the grill masters. Survival. Nope, Nate is absolutely right about white leftist women.
Blah.
Uh,
Hey,
You not
Nate,
white survival. You don't get to speak for the white clan.
shout out to
I do want to say shout out to you, Nate, man. I seen you on
What's up,
Teapot
man?
holding it down,
yeah,
Oh,
putting your
against JR,
putting
yeah.
your foot, putting your knee on them niggas' necks as far as the lefty shit.
Oh my God, bro. Like I said, man, I can take Good Conservative, Trey, Freedman's Journal, Free Zone Lou, Uncle Stu. Any one of these niggas can destroy every leftist nigga in the space. A team of them. It's nothing. It's so easy to defeat these guys. It's boring almost.
It
It
is.
just is, man. You can't defend any of the shit the Democrat Party promotes these days.
no, they defend it with emotion and symbology and
That's
delusion.
it, dude.
That's it.
That's why they always want to catch a flight and threaten your kid and
Exactly.
all this other stuff.
Well, you know what, Free Zone, you just missed it because you talked about threatening kids. We talked about the foster care system being a scam. Tony Dean even brought this. You even have elderly, she calls it developmental disabilities. They're actually moving in with people, and the people are getting paid to take care of them by the state.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And
God.
I'm
I'm so foreign to the. I'm not gonna lie to you. The foster care system and stuff. All I know is that it's a huge racket. Outside of that, it's outside of my
even
scope of knowledge.
even even the adoption, I'm beginning to believe that's some kind of, that's got scam written on it too. That does.
Let me say something to Free Zone. Free Zone, I'm curious, and don't take offense. Is your wife black?
She is not. No.
Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know. I didn't know. I was gonna say that if she was, you're doing more to help black people than all them niggas on the left combined. But whatever your wife is, salute, man. You got a child, you got a family. You're helping America. You may not.
That's it.
Okay, you're not specifically helping Black America, but as a intact family unit raising a child, you are doing a tremendous service to America.
Hey, Brother Nate, I'm going to say this. I mean, this is going to sound cold. There's really no black community.
Bro, I understand, man. I was just curious because anybody who's involved in a black male, black female relationship and made a commitment and raising a child, you're doing more than 1 million hoteps. Okay? You literally doing more than 1 million hoteps. So
I agree with. I mean, anybody who's pro family is cool in my book. Like that's what it boils down to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't want you to think anything by me asking you that. I was just curious because I was going to give you credit over all the retarded hoteps.
And
go ahead.
Shout out to my boy Men's Dailies, my brother. I believe you, Nate, and 401. There's a rise in men who become at home chefs of the years. North American chicks have become hamburger healthy. Go fix your own plate. My audience is rough. And microwave food.
But he's speaking facts, bro. Facts. How many women out here actually can go in the kitchen and cook something?
God forbid from scratch.
Like
Raws ain't cooking from no scratch at all.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. You know what the misconception is though? Like it's very funny because so I actually didn't grow up in the States. I grew up in Japan. And
oh wow, okay.
When I was a kid, I wasn't a nigga in Japan. You know what? So it wasn't that whole concept of if she ain't got a comb, don't bring her. It's like I never grew up hearing any of that stuff.
Military, your parents military?
That's it.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I was raised Marine Corps, and then I joined the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
Did you happen to wed a woman of Oriental descent, or what happened?
No. My wife is Puerto Rican and Italian with some Native American in there as well.
Those are a couple of fiery fucking non-black women, nigga. You do know that, right? Italian women, I've heard shit, and I know Puerto Rican women can.
But you know what's and that's what's crazy because I'll have black women tell me they'll find out that I'm not with a woman who's black, and they're like, oh, you just one of them weaker niggas that couldn't stand in it. What is your woman? And I'll tell them the race of my woman, and they go, oh, gosh,
Boy,
bless
them
your heart.
Italian women
They
can
changed their
wild
tune
out,
quick,
Jack, I heard.
bruh. All of them. You an Italian, Puerto Rican. That it's literally like having a lion and a tiger and a bear all in one cage, fighting each other.
I hear you, dog. I hear you. I hear you, man.
Let me get back to the chat. Alice, leftism is colorblind. It's a mental illness that is about group thinking based on reality, on opinions and gossips. All leftists are special. All leftists are delusional. Free zone
Right.
making it great. Shout out. And the national organizer. Good gracious.
Oh, hey, yeah, Celine's all in this national organizer shit.
What is that?
I'm glad
Dude, I did
that
a stream. I did a stream the other day. Kendra, when losers shoot their shot, and I profiled 3 Kendra. Well, I call her Kavindra. 3 Kavindra G guests, 3 loser black males, and one of them, when asked, "Well, what do you do?" He said, "This is a quote, Free Zone." He said, "I'm a national organizer with a focus on criminal justice, trying to close the prisons."
What?
That was his job title.
Huh?
What?
That fucking bitch babble madness was his job title. Yeah.
That sounded more accurate.
Oh my god, dude, what a fucking joke. And Celine she said she was like, her ribs were hurting by what I said about the nigga. It was so funny.
National organizer with a focus on criminal justice and prison systems.
Oh, closing prisons.
Yeah,
and I said during my show, I said, where are we going to put the prisoners? You close the fucking prison. Where you putting them?
None of that even makes sense that it goes together.
It doesn't.
And see, that's why when I ask that question, I'll ask a person, okay, what do you do? And when they ramble off a title like that, I'll respond, okay,
goodbye.
So what do you do?
Goodbye. I'll just say goodbye. You take care. Appreciate it. God bless you.
You are the weakest link.
A Free Zone, one question you got to ask if somebody gets on your panel, because you got to look at Kendra G's stuff. A number of sisters talk about their entrepreneurs. She does not ask the sisters what they actually do. That might be something that we got to bring that out. Because, all right, you own it. What do you do? Where's your website?
I talk a lot on YouTube. I talk and I talk and I talk.
Pro family, shout out to Survival, pro family in America. I don't care what skin tone you got. Create a good family and be a family man. Facts.
Absolutely.
Also, yeah.
No, but the reason why I brought up, living in Japan and not being foreign to that whole concept is because that's never been calculated into my vetting process. The woman's race. Like I've been with all different races of women. I've been with all different types of black women, red bones, the hotep, the just your base women, all of that. Like I've been with damn near the only one I haven't been with is ironically, and I haven't been with an Asian woman, and wow. I haven't been with like a woman like an Indian woman from India. Yeah. I haven't done that. Aside of that, I've been with all different types. It's just not something I focus on.
Bro.
Hey fellas, I'm gonna have to hop off here, man.
I don't never tell men what to do.
All right, salute to you, brother.
Salute, Snowman. You sound uncomfortable in that chair. I don't know what's going on over there, but
I need to WD-40 it, man. It's getting old.
Gotcha.
Hey,
salute to you, bro.
Salute. Thank you for coming up.
Yes, sir. Hey, you guys all take it easy. Shout out. All right, back to the chat. Clue received here, born abroad, us, but Georgia's my home. Maybe when I go to Tennessee, might find a new home. Have to look up the laws there. My dad lives in Tennessee. It's not a bad state. He lives in Nashville. Don't go to Memphis. Go to Tennessee.
Oh, God, please don't go to Memphis.
Nate will tell you all about that. Yeah, don't go to Memphis.
Is Nashville becoming like Austin, though? All the eclectic artistic types moving to Nashville. I've never been to Nashville, but I hope it's not becoming a fucking Austin.
I don't know, but if I had to go, if you ask me, where would I go in Tennessee? I'd go east to
Knoxville is beautiful.
Knoxville.
Yeah, I just said that. Knoxville.
Don't
Knoxville's
go to
beautiful.
Chattanooga either. They got a lot. That's where ABL lives. A lot of shooting in Chattanooga.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Brother Clue says, I'm the Diversity, Inclusion, Equity Director for African American Women at Rice Aroni.
Right. So
You Clue, you ain't shit.
they
Every
shouldn't have
now and
gave
again, I gotta remind Clue he ain't shit. Clue ain't shit.
Oh,
Clue
man.
is
That
one of
nigga said
those.
Rice Aroni.
Clue is one of those
Oh my
where they
god.
should have never gave people like him keyboard.
Oh,
Oh my god, you a fool, nigga.
I mean, behind all that jargon, he has a point.
Yeah, there's always a point to it.
I mean, Clue comes up with some crazy stuff.
That nigga said Rice Aroni.
You know who should have been here tonight? Trey should have been here tonight.
Oh Lord, not Trey.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Yes, Trey. But let me go to the poll here. 22 votes. Do you think social service is a hustle? I put I, but I meant do you? Is social service a hustle? The welfare, the foster care, out of 22 votes, 82% yes, 18 no. Hey Nate, you got to teach me how to break it down into 4 categories like you do.
All you do is add an option at the very bottom when you first open up the poll to make it. You add an option. It'll let you add a total of 4 options.
Right. And now, like I said, the foster care was and the development disability, and all this that's taking place, I had to bring that out because, a number of us don't really understand what's going on in some of these assisted living facilities. Sometimes the kids just throw the family member up there and they're abused. Again, individuals who are in a foster care system, they're being tossed around like hot potatoes, just for money. The welfare system is.
Can you imagine how the child feels? You're taken out of your home. There was already bad fucking circumstances because of your shitty single mother, or she moved in some piece of shit into the house that's harmed you. Now you got to go as an adolescent, stay in the house of somebody you've never met.
And you know what? I don't understand. Don't people get background checks? Because like I said, even have
once they qualify you for foster parenthood, yeah, you're and this, like I said, my ex-best friend's mother-in-law, I mean, she was just this old rotten fucking woman with 5 or 6 foster kids, and then she's living off that.
Now let me ask you something. Now I know I lived in Pennsylvania. Do you know how much individuals were getting for foster kids? You don't laugh at me when I say this.
I don't know the exact amount, but I mean, she was getting enough to pay for that double wide trailer.
Well, in Pennsylvania, when I was living there, they were getting, I was told, $3,000 per kid. So you get 3 kids.
Whoa! Per what though? Per year?
No, $3,000 per month.
Oh wow!
That's damn.
All right.
And then they spend almost none of the money on the fucking child.
Well, that's true. Men's Daily question for everybody on the panel: how often in the past were you the main cook in your past relationships or dating situations, compared to the women cooking? Well, and here me and Tommy Jean pretty much split up the cooking, but in the past I was the one doing all the cooking because I had daughters that didn't know how to cook. My sisters weren't that great at cooks because they were basically encouraged to go to school, get that.
The ex-wife didn't teach him how to cook?
Man, she didn't know how to cook either. She knew how to cook Mrs. Paul's fish sticks.
That's terrible. I was on the phone with a couple of my sisters once, about, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And they accused me of being a culinary slob, right? I mean, snob. No, not slob, snob. My bad. So you're a snob, in regards to food. I said, no. I said, the only people I don't respect culinarily I do not respect women that don't cook.
Right.
Don't. If you can say I don't respect a man that doesn't work, I can say I don't respect a woman that doesn't cook.
That's fair.
Man is supposed to work and produce. A woman is normally responsible for the nutritional needs of her fucking family. So you're supposed to know how to cook. And I don't respect women that don't cook. And my fucking sister started yelling at me.
Oh.
She started yelling at me at the top of her fucking lungs. Just because I had the nerve to say that shit. Oh, I cannot stand
Most of them probably have churches,
Yeah.
fried chicken around, or Popeyes around. That's their cooking.
Oh yeah.
fucking idiots.
God forbid you have a standard.
God forbid. God for fucking bid, Free Zone.
Yeah, my wife, it's mainly, she does most of the cooking, but when it comes to, there's certain dishes that I do like to cook, and I basically hop in the kitchen wherever I feel the desire to cook. Like I just recently slow cooked a roast, put it in the slow cooker,
Nice.
and shut that shit. I love slow cooking roast.
Especially during the summer, you ain't gotta cut your oven on. Yes, sir.
Oh, bro. Now, with her being pregnant, I was doing all of the cooking.
Mm-hmm.
But now that the baby is out, she's back in the kitchen doing the thing. So it's all good.
I mean, it's all good. Like tonight, I had some neck bones and beans, and Tommy Jean cooked them, and they were, I tell you, they were fire, man.
Go ahead, Miss Tommy Jean. Let me ask you something, Free Zone. You said you grew up in Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Coming to the States, did you feel any pressure to date or just involve yourself with Black American women? Did you feel any outwardly societal pressure to do that?
Yes, yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, yes, I did. Yeah, if the most accurate answer was if I did, I didn't care.
Understood.
But yeah, yes, I did.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Never really caved into the pressure really like that. I liked who I liked. If you got a problem with it, then it is what it is.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like I don't care, because at the end of the day, you got to spend the rest of your life with whoever you choose, or even if it's just for a night, you got to collect the baggage of that person. So no, I'm not going to let you dictate that.
Understood. Let me ask you this also. Now, I can hear in your voice that you're probably a different kind of brother than the stereotypical young Black male. I can hear it in your voice. I can hear a certain tonage, just that kind of represents a level of education, a level of refinement. I can hear it, So how did you have access to very attractive Black girls? How did Black girls treat you? I imagine your hobbies and stuff may not have necessarily lined up with what the stereotypical young Black man's interests are. How did that work
out? Some of them were into it, and it was a breath of fresh air. Some of them thought I was lame and thought I was into you probably a nerd, you in anime and nerd stuff, which I wasn't, but I thought it was fun that people thought that.
Very interesting.
Did
most of the women think that? The Black women? Like, I'm trying to gauge, did the majority of the Black women accept you and, things just didn't work out? Or did the majority of these Black women take issue with you not being the stereotypical American Black young man?
The ones that didn't rock with me, and I was completely fine with that, because most of them actually did. I've never had an issue getting women, period. Now there have been some women that I tried to when the hunt is on, you try to get at, and it just didn't work out. But a lot of times, even after that, I could always pick up women. I never really struggled in that department. So any woman that did say no, I always understood the law of numbers. Somebody's going to the law of averages. I'm sorry. So if
But
you
did a larger number of attractive black women say no than other races of women? That's what I'm trying to get at. How did black women?
Gotcha. The more attractive black women didn't really rock with me.
That's what
like that.
That's
they wanted the hood nigga.
Oh,
Even in the military, they wanted the hood nigga. Like they wanted, even though they left the hood, they still wanted that nigga from the hood. And to
how
me,
often
it's what it is.
You know how often black girls at places like Spelman and Clark, they don't date the guys that go to Morehouse and Clark. They date the fucking criminals in the neighborhoods around the black college.
That's Atlanta, brother. You got to have criminals. But let me introduce my next guest, Teapot.
Oh, shit. Teapot, what up, big dog?
Welcome to the show, brother.
Peace, brother Leon. I see my brother Big Nate up here. What's good, brother Free-Zone? I was trying to get up here earlier, man, but a lot of shit was going on at the crib.
Oh man, well you came up here because we've been talking about something that people don't talk about, Teapot. You might pick it up. We've been talking about the foster care system and everything, and
all that falls under the whole social service.
Hey, make sure, Teapot, you subscribe to my channel, brother.
I am subscribed. I'm already subscribed. Yeah, I'm already subscribed, man.
Yeah.
How you know I know it's going down here. That's how I know. I see it light up on my feed. My take on social services is this. I think a lot of it is racket. Especially when you're talking about the quote unquote social services that they provide, right? Because we all know the origin of social service or quote unquote social work, right? It was all started by some lady, I think her name was Mary Richmond. She was like the first quote unquote case worker, and her thing was all about because she did something called a social diagnosis. I think it was back in 1916 or 1917. I'm not really sure. And she tried to develop like this scientific equation, about the causes of poverty and social exclusion and, dealings between, people and their environments. That was her whole thing. And it grew into what it is now. Because when you think about social work, most of the people who are receiving any type of services from quote unquote social work are usually people on the lower socioeconomic scale of things. All right. Those are the people who deal with it the most. And see, there is a key to it. There is a hidden nuance to it that people just don't understand. This is why for them to do certain amount of things for you, they told you that, you couldn't have a man in the house. You couldn't be getting help from here. You couldn't be getting help from there because they wanted to know that what they're giving you is all you're going to have. They don't want you to have any type of outside anything that may help you or something that you may combine what they're giving you with to get you out of the hole that you're in. Because they kind of want you to stay in that hole, right? Absolutely. They kind of want you to, they want you to stay in that hole as long as possible. Because see, as long as they keep you in that hole, they know that you are one less person that is ever going to be, be able to develop yourself into something. And I think the foster care system is the same way when it comes to these kids, right? Right. They bounce these kids back and forth here, there. Yes. And it's a racket for the people who take these kids because see, you only get money for the children if you foster them. Once you adopt them, they become your kids. So the state, the state gravy train comes to a screeching halt. That is why a lot of people prefer to foster children as opposed to adopt them.
Now, so it's like a level up. It's like the next level of welfare, so to speak.
Yes.
Yes.
Because see, if
Fact.
you have a foster kid, because I know a couple people who have foster kids. If you have foster kids, the state will give you $800 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. You know, whatever it is in your particular state, you get that per child while that child is living with you.
In Pennsylvania, they were getting like $1,500 to $3,000 per child.
Yeah, easily. You get a couple grand a month for each kid, and not only that, if that kid lives with you for a year or more, guess what else you can do? You can also claim that child on your taxes. On your taxes. So you rake it in the dough as long as you foster the kid. Now, of course, if you adopt the kid, you can also claim the kid on your taxes as well. I mean, when I did my taxes, I had my nephew and my grandson on there. But
Right.
see, I write a tax bill. I don't get a tax return. I haven't gotten a tax return in like damn near 9 years.
But it's a smaller bill.
Yes. What happens is I get the credit for the boys being here because they're
Exactly.
minors.
Exactly.
So I get a credit for them, plus I claim my wife and all that kind of shit, do a lot of savvy writing off, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, do a lot of savvy write-offs. But
Well, Brother Teapot, thanks for your subscription. We found it.
yeah, man.
You've
I'm
always been
subscribed, brother. I've been subscribed, man. I've been subscribed to your shit. Let me see let me look. Oh, see, I didn't hit the bell though. See, I'm hitting the bell now.
Oh, yeah.
But I am subscribed. If you look at my subscriptions, you will see your face there. Yeah, you will see your face.
Well, this is something that G. Davis 2050. A few years ago, foster parents burned their foster child. Then they got on TV and said that they lost him in a park.
How about the two?
Goddamn.
How about the two white lesbians in California who drove their 6 black adopted children off the side of a mountain?
Yeah. That
Oh,
was
Lord.
insane. That was
Yeah.
insane.
This is the problem. Men have always been blamed for being the ones that are the so-called
Abusers, yeah.
savages and abusers, but it is the women. And Alice, awesome Alice, she left, and shout out to her. She was approved to be a foster parent, but that's a lot of work. And
If you're gonna do it right, that 1,500 ain't gonna be much, man. It's not
well,
gonna be
when you're now, Brother Nate, some other scam is going on too, and Brother Teapot, he can back me up on this. When the mother who's been on welfare is finished raising her kid at 18 years old, she gets no more welfare. Some of them encourage their daughters to have children so that welfare check keeps coming.
Oh,
The mother will be the babysitter. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
I
Because
have never. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They have it now where they actually can get paid for that, where they can actually get paid for actually watching the kid, especially if the mother is working or involved in some type of program. The state will actually pay the mother to babysit
Pay the
child. Yeah, the grandmama.
Paid to be a grandma.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Folks is just determined to not be shit.
Absolutely.
The race to the bottom. It's a straight race to the bottom.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Quit dwagging them. Shout out to Minister Japp. Quit dwagging them.
And that's also you got these foster kids, like I said, they're bounced around, and also the elderly abuse. Enough of that going on, and then the state also pays for individuals if they're getting.
Yes, I heard about that too. I heard that they're paying. I know they do it in New York. I don't know if they do it anywhere else. Yeah, in New York, you can actually have one of your family members, one of the elderly person's family members, can literally go and stay in grandpa's house, and they will get paid as a care aid, to I guess stay in there and feed them and clean them and all that kind of stuff. I think they got to take like a little bullshit course or something for like a 5 or 10 hours, and they get a big old check just for living there with grandpa, because that's all they're really doing in theory. is living in grandpa's house.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can say if the person actually cares for the family member, that's a good thing. I don't want to see elderly people, just dying and languishing alone and shit. But
But the way some people are, I mean, they're taking the money and they're using it for
Yeah.
themselves. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
they're hustling because grandpa can drive himself and wash himself and feed himself, but they getting a check. Okay, it's saying that they're taking care of grandpa, and grandpa got a girlfriend. Shit, he ain't bedridden. He ain't bedridden. He don't need nobody to wipe his butt. Yeah, grandpa still doing his shit. He can still drive and everything. But they living there getting the check, telling the system that they taking care of him. And goddamn grandpa taking care of his own self.
And you want to know what the worst thing is? There's no accountability for it. The government check it off.
Nope. Not one freaking bit. Not one, man. Not one.
And some of these elderlies, I mean, what goes on in these elderly these assisted living places, man, it's crazy too. It's crazy the way they're treated in there. It's funny, these group homes out here. This is why I say you got to watch out for what you do and who you bring in your house. It's almost like these, like for the elderly, it's almost like you have a group home at home or an elderly, or I call it an elderly B. What is it? A, B, and B. What I call that, bed and breakfast. It's a moneymaker. All these social services, even prisons, that's money.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, me, I'm going to, and I've been talking about this for years. Everybody knows what I'm going to say. I'm going to invest into an apartment building. And,
old bitches.
It'll be an apartment building for these old mamas, in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I have no problem taking state allotment. Absolutely, because the state will pay for grandma. The state will pay, and I don't mind it because guess what, grandma? You're gonna have a nice 500 square foot apartment. We're gonna have a laundromat in there. We're gonna have a little bingo hall in there for y'all to play bingo. We're gonna have an area in the back for you to walk your 10 cats or your 10 dogs, whatever you got living there. I'm gonna have a couple books.
Don't give them permission for.
I'm gonna have a couple bullshit security guards there to keep your dumbass grandson from round there selling crack around my building. All that's going down, grandma. Just check out Xavier in about 5-6 years tops. Check out X's affordable apartments for old hoes coming to a town near you.
Shout out to
hey yo, real quick, I gotta bounce, y'all. My baby called for me, but I appreciate y'all
me
having
too.
me up, man. Salute. One love, y'all.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta
Free
run, brother Leon too. I gotta jump off because I gotta stream in like 5 minutes. We talking about tonight. Yeah, tonight. Social media is not socializing. So check me out in a few minutes. I appreciate you having me on, brother Leon.
Coming up.
Absolutely, man. My brother Nate, man. I will see both you good fellas on the other side.
All right.
Peace.
Shout out to new brother up here, Brandon Looney Tunes. What's going on? You new up here. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. What's going on?
I'm new. Well, I believe 20 or so people giving me a side right now.
Okay. Well, what's going on? Welcome to my channel here. What brings you to the 411 Talk Zone radio show?
I have 715 right now.
It's 7:15
Yep, 715 subs.
in the morning.
Yep, 715.
Okay.
What day am I gonna reach 1K?
What's that?
What day am I gonna reach 1K?
Okay. I said a bunny rabbit. All right.
That's Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny up in his piece.
Dude, what's his name?
All right.
What he said?
It's Bugs Bunny. What's up,
Yep.
Doc? Shout out to Brandon Looney Tunes fan 2000. Daffy Duck. Okay. Right.
Do you do silent videos?
What's that?
Do you do silent videos?
Sad videos or?
Shout out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I shout everybody out. Look at Wile E. Coyote. Oh, is that Wile E. Coyote? Yeah. Okay.
That's Sylvester. Not Sylvester.
That looks. It might be.
I
thought
think
it
that's
was Wile E.
Sylvester.
Coyote. It might be Sylvester. Shout out to
Yeah, that's Sylvester.
He's a Looney Tunes fan. That's Sylvester. It looked like Wile E. Coyote, I guess. So, take a move.
There
Okay,
you
that's
go.
Wile E. Coyote. All right. Okay. All right. Well, Daffy Duck.
No, that's beep beep. What's the name?
Oh, Roadrunner. Is that
Roadrunner. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, brother Nate. I
got children, dog.
Yeah, used to watch that stuff. God, that's
Tasmanian Devil.
Tasmanian Devil. Yeah, one of my favorites, by the way.
Do you do silent videos, period?
Well, shout out to you. You got a channel? You got a channel, brother?
Do you do silent videos, period?
What's that?
Shout out videos.
Do I do shout out? Well, I don't do shout out videos. I do, but I will shout your channel out like I do brother Nate, because he's a frequent supporter of mine, and I go on his channel, so I shout his channel out. All right.
Tweety Bird.
Tweety Bird. All right.
It's the Mexican mouse.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, Speedy. That's it.
Okay. So showing our age up here, Nate. Yeah, who is that? My favorite Martian? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the Martian, the crazy Martian motherfucker.
Yeah, Martian. Shout out to Clue. He's going to show that one Looney Tune that is banned by the federal government. Clue. Clue.
Chipmunk. Isn't that Chipmunk?
Alvin and the Chipmunk. No.
Got me on that one.
Got me on that one. It's not Pepe Le Pew. I don't know who it is.
Some kind of chipmunk or something.
Oh.
Or is that a female bunny?
Yes.
Ah, okay, got you.
Shout out, he has 715 subs now. Okay. Looney
Hello,
Tune.
buddy.
Got me on that one.
I got me on that one. Shout out to Deacon Dave. Kenneth Williams in the house. All right.
Yeah, how many of these you got, bro?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. How many- That's all, folks. All right. Hey, thank you for coming up.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Every time I talk about Lego figurines, I always save this one for last.
All right.
Got you.
Got you. Tweety Bird, isn't it? Porky Pig.
This is Tweety Bird.
Okay, that's Tweety Bird, and you got Porky Pig. All right.
Good deal.
Good deal. All right. All right. Well, you got 715 subs now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming up. The Looney Tunes series. Okay. All right. All right. Matthew Mittens. I rode the back of the bus. Ha ha. Voice call. You guys are rough. You got a little bit of everything up there. Now he's up to 751 now. He just gained 36 subs in a matter of minutes. All right. You want to spam your channel down there? I know we don't deal with Looney Tunes over here. We got a different type of program over here.
Did you say 750?
You got 751 subs, but
I have 715.
oh,
I'm
15
760 right now.
Okay. But all right, listen, that's good. But we don't do that. We don't do Looney Tunes over here though. But I'll spam your channel out, bro.
I have 716 right now.
Okay. All right, just got another subscriber. All right. All right. Well, listen, I got to thank you. Got to thank you for coming up. Time to shout out to Deacon Dave. I got to wrap this up. I know Brother Nate's probably. Hey, Brother Nate, what are you talking about tomorrow on your show, brother? So I can be.
I'm either going to deal with some. I found some interesting clips of Fresh and Fit versus feminists. Like I'm going to give my commentary as they kick all these different women off of their platform or out of his Myron's condo, if you will.
Okay.
Or there's so many things I can do. I just have to narrow it down. Yeah, but we'll see tomorrow. Definitely, please come through, y'all.
Oh, I got to come through. You get a cash app. Have the panel up, and we'll work on. Yeah, like I said, well, thanks for bringing up your Looney Tunes, bro. But I got to keep my show going on, bro. All right. Thank you for your Looney Tunes here. Not for sale here, but
You said I had 750 or 715?
you got 716 now.
I thought
All
you
right,
said
good deal, Chief.
All right. You should do Hope for Single Moms. Oh.
I thought you said 750.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. We got it. We'll subscribe to your channel. I got to keep my show going on, bro. All right.
Take care, Chief.
Thanks for coming up.
Okay.
All right.
Ah, darn. Was he a troll or what? I don't even know.
I don't think so. I think he's.
No, he does have a channel. I
think he's showing you what's important to him. Salute to him.
Oh, yeah. You know, we're not loony here. I mean,
Yeah. You know, I go Trip. God bless him, man.
I'm not, but he does have a channel. So, but yeah, but like I said, Brother Nate, you know what's going on out here and what you put on last night about the
Stepdaddy nightmare.
well, we might. I want to before we depart. I do want to touch on that a little bit because I really didn't finish on that because that's part of the dysfunction too. And like I said last night, when it comes to the stepdaddy, don't be a stepdaddy this day and age. It is not a good investment. Like I said last night, and shout out to Brother Nate for bringing up this topic. We're really not talking about it enough, but in the past, many black women and black men, when they were together, if you saw two dark-skinned people and a light-skinned baby, there may have been something going on, but the black man has always accepted being the stepdaddy. Why do you think that is, Brother Nate? Now there's some white men who are stepdaddies out here too.
But there wasn't a concerted, organized effort to make white guys stepdaddies. There was for black men. I'm sorry, the media, your Boyce Watkinses,
oh God, yeah.
Your Essence, Ebony, Jet magazine, your Black Enterprise. I'm sure all of them had all sorts of favorable things to say about single moms and how, for the sake of the community,
Yeah.
you're supposed to take your hard-earned resources, all that you've gained through your labor, and give it to a woman and her children. I mean, just the sheer foolishness of that on its face, you know? But again, I have children, I had custody. And like I said yesterday, full disclosure, most of the women I've dated have been single mothers. I just steered clear of the children because I knew what would happen.
Brother, it doesn't work. And shout out to G Davis 2050. I guess the guy that was up, he might live in a group home. Well,
God bless him.
Well,
God bless him.
Well, God bless him too. Like I said, up here, we do get to the point. Sometimes we can be a little harsh, but we got to put the truth out there. But this issue of stepdaddies, and there's some guys, and shout out to him. I still got love for the brother Jay Speed. He's still pro-black, older Jay. Jay Speed.
Sure, OG. Sure.
OG. I mean, I got respect for him. I mean,
understood.
So yes, but added to the stream too, my man, Mr. G. What's going on? About time you came up.
Hey, what's going on? 411, can you hear me loud and clear?
Hey, I still got to watch that video, dude. Shout out to Little Big Nate. Get to his channel. Get to Mr. G's channel. Yes. And this might be the one for you, the stepdaddy issue. Brother Nate had that on. You ever been a stepdaddy before, Brother G? You ever been a stepdaddy?
Well, kind of funny situation, man. I actually was in the position where I was getting ready to, but I was always finding myself at the time in my blue pill days. I was dipped into all types of ridiculous blue pill. I found myself actually being what we call the resource that was being taken advantage of, if you will. You understand? The beta cuck, and so if I were to be the stepdad, or what we call the assumed to be stepdad, I would be the guy where they would go to get as much resources out of as they could. And at the time, though, right, I had the blindfolds on, and I was thinking, oh well, as long as I be good to her and her kids, they'll maintain their good behavior, and they'll give me the respect I need, and everything will be fine, right? Until right, when the resources went low. You lost your job, you got fired, the job went bankrupt, what have you may be, right? Then what will happen is the attitudes and her behavior will shift. And so it will go from her being this nice, cutesy, wussy woman to this evil, ugly bitch that you've never have seen before. So to answer the question about the stepdad, no, I haven't, but I was just that guy that they actually could extract as much resources as they got. And then after that, I had to get treated like shit, and then lickety split, boom, on to the next. But now fast forward, after those few endeavors of that shit, I just never put myself in that position to be in that rabbit hole of the stepdad. I've also told the single mothers at the time to do not have your kids call me dad, because I'm not their dad. If anything, I will push forward to make sure that the kids are in their father's life. And I told these single mothers that if any event that you are withholding these kids from the father and I am in your life, I am out the door. Now, I had that little bit of sense at the time, right? Because I figured that if the woman is holding those kids away while she's involved with me, and I'm seeing these kids damn near 95% of the time, God damn it, who's to say if me and this bitch actually have a fucking goddamn kid, she does exactly the same damn thing, when you got this willing and able, capable guy over there who could spend these times with these kids, But you got to remember in those days. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's his fucking kid, of course. Absolutely.
Yes. And I said to myself, no, I couldn't put myself in that position. But but I did make I've been on so many panels, it's crazy, and I talk about this topic, and I try to target my younger audience, on my channel and a lot of other channels, right, which are in their 20s and their 30s. And I tell these guys to never, ever date a single mother. Don't be a stepfather. And for God's sake, stop extracting your resources and your time and your energy to these goddamn women. It's not worth it. If you want to do it short term, that's perfectly fine. But I tell these guys to use precaution and to actually steal. But the default is to get your money together, get your passport, and get the fuck out of here. You know, there's a bigger world out there full of women that don't have kids though, and don't have the psychological issues or the baggage of these goddamn women here in North America. They don't.
Well, shout out to G Davis 2050. I saw on Facebook where a mother was sleeping with a 12-year-old son and thought about you. That must be that right there. It does happen. That's the Oedipus complex, the son husband. Got to be
Wow. Yeah, you talked about that a few streams back. You know, some of these situations either being borderline incest or fuck it, they are incest.
They are. That, you know, I did a show, and it's actually coming up next week where the mother and daughter are in bed together. It's called Smothered, and I want a mama's boy. I do these TLC shows. They might be reality shows, but here's the thing. That's actually happening in real life. And some of these women are putting everything out there on social media. It was an incident on social media where a 20-year-old woman was caught giving her 4-year-old son oral sex. It was on Facebook.
Oh, Jesus.
That I'm telling you.
Incredible.
It happens, but see, the problem is everything is being magnified on us men, like we're the ones who you're savages and you're predators, when it's not us. A number of women, but they, you know, like Tommy. I don't know if you remember, Brother Nate. You might remember. I think Teapot showed it, where a sister had her 4 kids in the car, and she was trying to drive her car to an ocean in Florida, and then she got rescued.
In a minivan, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff, and you have to be aware. You have to be aware when you're dealing with individuals out here. Stepdaddy, you have to again. You got to look at, okay, what is your family going to think about that? But you know, you're dealing with her family, and then you got to deal with the ex's family. Do you really want to deal with all those people?
Thank you.
Thank
you. And if you dated a single mom, you guys, you know, you have to also question this too. And believe me, you guys, I got experience in this shit. Okay, this the fuckery is for real. Okay, the single mother, you have to also question her closeness with the family. You know, I've been with Hispanic women, you know, and I had a woman that was from Mexico, and there was one from the Dominican Republic. Okay. They were so damn close to their family, you would have to question, is there incest involved? Because every time that there was plans that I've actually had made, right, with this woman, she would cancel those plans to put the brother first, put her kids first, right? Anything over you, okay? And that's why I say the stepdad, the step to become a stepdad, it is a horrible deal. It is a horrible return on investment. There's no return on investment. Absolutely not. If there is, it's only monetary, only temporary, okay? Only for the moment. But it will not last forever. No, it won't.
This is the problem. To combat the narrative coming out of the Black manosphere and the manosphere in general, these women would have to produce men who are stepfathers who could testify to how well their woman is treating them, how appreciative, and you can't speak for the man. Man's got to speak for himself.
True.
How well mannered and behaved the children are, how much they respect him, how this woman, her primary concern is what my man wants to eat, you know, emptying out my man's balls. I mean, you name it. And there's no men ready to stand up and testify to that effect. So every man that seems to have been in this situation, Kevin Samuels, Dark Knight mentality. I mean, dude after dude says it was horrible. It was horrible. And now this gentleman, Because it was horrible.
But and I talk about this, even on a panel, on that panel with Courtney Michelle and One Master Teacher on his channel, right? Shout out to him though. We were talking about this particular topic on, are black women, the black American women are worth fighting for, and we talked about the single moms. And I tell these guys or whatever, right? Even on a lot of other channels too, right? That you have to question, why is there literally thousands, right? Somewhat millions of men, right, around the United States and fucking Canada saying the same thing or the same stories, right? But yet you still got this small percentage of women who are still saying to themselves, but all women are not like that. All women are not like that. But when you got guys in the thousands and the millions, right, just telling you the same stories from the divorce rape and the child support rate, right, or the guy who was the alleged single father, right, who didn't have any kids with this damn woman, but she still managed to get this guy on child support for a kid not his.
You fuck
Where's the
around and
return
adopt
of
that
the
child.
investment at?
You fuck around
Where's
and
the
adopt
return of the
that
investment?
child. You are paying child support. You adopt that
Thank you.
child.
Yes,
You're
you
paying
are.
child support. Yes, you are.
Yes. Yes, and I seen in Washington, right? Shout out to the Tom Likas show, and he talked about this in Washington, man. That Washington is the worst, one of the worst. Washington, I want to throw California and Pennsylvania in there too. Like, it's really, really, really crazy. With them actually, even if there's a DNA test, right, that
Yeah.
woman can still take her ass down there, right, and actually steals that man who has no relation to her, didn't offspring her or anything like that, and say, he is daddy and I want a check from him, regardless of the DNA test. Regardless.
So
There are
that
states that are still out there doing that. Me and 411, we were talking about this briefly offline, and we were talking about they're trying to pass a bill to allege a woman, a woman who is pregnant, man. She can actually go after you for child support without even taking a DNA test while she's pregnant. Are you kidding me?
shout out to Kenneth with Blue States. Yeah, you know what? But I knew it was a long time coming for that, brother G, because you're a man, and if you've been dating that woman, even though you're not even married to her, and she's pregnant and she has that kid, and you're the only person that she's known, she can take you for child support as well. And that ties into what we've been talking about tonight with the foster care system, the taking
Yes.
it's a scam, and this is, brother Nate had it up, and this is why I came up with my topics, because there's a lot of big scams going on that we don't even know about within the social service sector, and they're happening, and people are getting rich off of people's failures, and you have irresponsible people getting rich. That's why when you hear some of Kendra G stuff, some of these women will tell you, well, I got a business. Okay, if you don't know what the business are, but then you turn around and got a bunch of foster kids, maybe you got to look at where they're getting their money from. Number
I've seen success. I've seen successful men, successful men who got to the point that they are scared to either have sex with these women or get married, because these guys have, businesses and 401ks, man. They own castles and got all these cars and, a lot of moving objects or whatever. And they're like really thinking like, damn, if I really stick my dick inside this woman, she can take me for anything that I got. Like, it's getting that worse, you guys, So so it's like, what's the point? What's the point of involving yourself into a woman in a first world country, preferably, that actually has access to these laws that can extract resources and take advantage of a man? Why?
I on my first channel, YouTube took my first channel from me on Christmas Day. Brother Leon called me and told me.
Yeah.
And I did a stream called the new marriage paradigm, and how marriage needs to be focused on what the man wants. It's no longer this day of vanity for the woman. It's focused on what the man needs. And it's really the only solution. Marriage is a fundamentally important part of any functioning society. We as men just have to we have to go ahead and solve the problem, not by destroying marriage or walking away from the idea of it. We literally need to solve it. And I honestly believe this. And, if I'm wrong, let me know. But I think the technology of the lie detector test has come so far. Why not give a woman a lie detector test before you marry her? Give her a fucking lie detector test. If she says, no, I ain't taking it, okay, cool, no marriage. We can continue to kick it, but there won't be any marriage. You want a marriage, and I don't believe in state-sanctioned marriage under no circumstances. Women have collectively lost the right to that. But I'll have a contract. We'll perform a ceremony. I'll stand before God and our witnesses and, pledge my love to you. I got no problem with that for a woman who deserves it. But I am dead serious. Give your woman a lie detector test. Ask her about the number of her lovers. Ask her, does she love you? Does she intend to leave you? Is she planning to leave you? And there's no way around it. Again, lie detector test technology is damn near foolproof. The reason it's not admissible in court is because you won't have 5-month-long court cases. You come in, you can present the goddamn lie detector test, and the case is over. Lawyers can't charge by the hour, billable fucking hours. And the judges, you'll need 1/10 of the judges you need today. So they'll never allow lie detector tests in court. But bruh, the technology is sound.
I agree. I agree. I think I'm gonna just throw that in there. That should be part of the dating vetting process, along with the conversation of marriage, because I tell those guys, don't tell my boys on my channel that if you're gonna go ahead and do something stupid like get married, the first thing you're gonna do right in the dating process is you're gonna ask her, well, what is her opinion about prenuptial agreements? And if she objects at all or say anything, it'll ruin our love or any crap, that's a huge red flag. Well, the same thing with your solution. If she objects to taking a lie detector test at all, just bring it up as a conversation. That is a red flag for you to run the hell away from that woman.
Absolutely. If you really are devoted to me and you don't have in the back of your mind your plans to get out the marriage and what you're going to be able to walk away with and how many children you'll have right before you're ready to leave, then you should be able to take a lie detector test and pass it with no problem.
Right. And then especially, too, if she gaslights you, manipulates you, try to flip it, turn it around. Well, what about you? You should take a lie detector test, too. Why can't you do it or whatever, right?
Don't leave their wives.
It should not matter. It should not matter. I asked you first. Now, are you going to do it or not? Are you going to do it? If she still manipulates, try to flip it, turn it around on you. That's also another red flag too, right? Get the hell away from her. Don't be getting involved with these women. All this is part of the vetting process. That's why you guys go out here and date these women and have in your mind. I tell these guys on my channel, you need to have in your mind tattooed short term. If you're going to deal with any of these fucked up women in North America, short term, get in, get out, you're done. Right? But you're going to ask the tough questions, the uncomfortable questions during the dating process or whatever, if you're considering taking her seriously or whatever, to actually see if she's going to be able to hold water or drown. That's simple.
I'll be honest with you. I would not require a lie detector test for dating. And that's just my opinion. And of course, this gentleman has the right to his. My thing is marriage. There is no way in hell I'm marrying you without giving you this lie detector test.
Shout out to Brother Free Zone lie detector test. This is time to get married. He sounds like he believes in the same thing you believe in, Brother Nate.
Maybe he does. God bless. Free Zone little man. Hope his marriage lasts. Just had his first baby, man. Salute to you, bro. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But
when it comes to the lie detector test, I'm saying like, when you date, you just simply bring it up. You're not saying, we're saying this, like, we're not saying, okay, when you date this woman, oh yeah, you need a lie detector. No, hell no. No, you're dating. Come on, it's the dating process, right? You're going to bring these uncomfortable questions up during the dating contest because you want to see where her head's at. That's the only thing you want to see. You want to see if you're wasting time or you're not. If you bring up, hey, listen, what is the topic of marriage? And you're going to get her opinion, right, about marriage, and then you're going to bring up the subject about, DNA testing, divorce. You want to bring these uncomfortable conversations up, and then the lie detector test. You want to throw that in there also with a prenuptial agreement. All these conversations, and you're just kind of gauging an idea. And like I tell these guys, you're getting a sneak peek of what the fuck you're going to be dealing with long term. I tell these guys 90 days, 6 months, give you a sneak peek if you're dealing with this woman, right, of what the fuck you're going to be dealing with in the future. It's not a perfect scan, I tell you this, but it gives you a bird's eye view of what type of damaged good woman I'm going to be dealing with, or what type of good, sensible, positive woman that I'm going to be dealing with. That's all it is. You understand?
And all you and really the first question to ask that can save all the trouble before those other questions.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting down at dinner with her. You know, it's, I don't know, y'all a couple of months into things. Can I see your phone? That's all you got to ask her.
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one.
She is either going to be completely apoplectic and besides herself with anger and deflections and bullshit, or she's going to simply hand you her phone. Right. I'm telling you, it's the most profound question you can ask a woman. Can I see your phone?
Oh my God.
If she says no, nigga, you can still date her, enjoy your time with her. Just do not take her seriously, dude.
There it is. Drop the mic on that. When you heard that 411, I hope the audience is taking notes on this shit.
I hear that. So, well, we're at the 3 hour. We're at the 3 hour mark. So I'm gonna get ready to shut it down here. It's about 10 o'clock here. Mr. G, what do you got? What do you got to your final comments of the show?
Gotcha. Okay, so I want to say thank you for bringing me to the show. My apologies for coming in late, man. I've been having a lot of things going on. I had been under the weather. You know, we kind of talked on private note about that and everything. But but thank you for bringing me on. My last words, I just wanted to say though, you guys, about these different type of scams that's going on, and the government. Like I said, the government is backing these women up about this, right? Let's just make sure that men on this channel should be aware of what women are capable of doing. As long as they got the government, and as long as they got access to social media and cell phones, and dating apps or whatever, they're always going to have the upper hand. All right. As long as there's a government that's going to back them up with laws, and then there's going to create the sisterhood and all these things, they're going to be able to extract resources from us. So what do we have to do? We have to fight fire with fire. And that is right. We have to protect our resources. We have to protect our money, and we have to limit our interactions with these women. Okay. And like I said, on my channel and with the Passport Brothers, we always say the same thing. Go grab your passport, travel, get out of there. There's a bigger world than just being stuck here dealing with the headache of this bullshit. So, but anyway, thank you, 411. I appreciate you bringing me to the show. Thank you, Brother Nate. It's good, Brother Nate. It's good to see you again, man. I seen you the other day on the Bernard Riley show.
I think. Sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but anyway, thank you, though. You guys have a great night. Take care. And please keep taking your daily dose of red pills, you guys.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming up.
No problem.
If somebody could put his link in the chat, I'd like to check out his channel.
Yeah. Put Men's Daily link in his channel.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night. And we should also bring up a topic to you guys one day called the vetting process of dating. Like, what are the red flags to look for? Things like that. So these young men can know out there, man. They don't know, man. And that was a good point Nate brought up about the lie detector. I didn't even think about that one. But the phone situation, that's like my favorite one. Yeah. Oh my God. The action is priceless. I am telling you.
Spam your channel in there. So Brother Nate, he wants to check out your content too.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I'm on a different device and everything. So if one of the moderators can go ahead and put it in there, or I'll put it in the comment section when this stream is over. I'll just put it in the comment section.
Or you can put it in the back chat if you want to.
Yeah. Yes, the men's daily advice and encouragement channel, you guys. Men's daily advice and encouragement channel. We talk about red pill, MGTOW content, and travel. Encouraging guys to get their passport, travel, and finances. But anyway, I don't want to waste too much of your time. I know you're about to close up shop, so I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, you guys. But have a good night, you guys, and you guys take care. And 411, check your voicemail, man. I left your voicemail, buddy.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, brother Nate. I'll be waiting on your show. You got the last word, brother.
All right, all right. Okay, I see the gentleman's channel. I got it.
Got it. Good.
Let's see here. Let me get back. Okay. Yeah, man, it's a scam. It's a grift. You know, as are most things associated with our federal government. There's just no way to keep tabs on a government that's ever increasing in power. They have the right to print money, so they never run out of it. They can either print money or increase the taxes on your money. I do not understand why Black people want to give more power to these lunatic freaks on the left. And nothing's going to change for Black America until they completely disassociate themselves from the Luciferian left. I have never told Black men to become Republicans. I've only said, see which party's platform most closely coincides with your belief system as a member of this space. And if you do that, I don't know how you vote Democrat. I just don't know how. They are dead set against everything we promote in this space. Everything. Everything that's good for America and Black America in particular, they are dead set against. So the Black community, I could care less about what the Black community should do politically. Black women want to be, want to side with the Luciferian left and the potbelly perverts in the Democrat Party, putting their sons in dresses and shit. Let them go. We as Black, competent, productive men, family-oriented men, we just need to go our way and vote our interests. And the Black women who want to be under those men's leadership and follow what they do, those will be the Black women that get provisions and protection and all that other shit. The other 80, 90% of Black women, whatever the fuck happens to them, happens to them. Same thing with the rest of American women. You negate the importance of men and the leadership of proper men. I don't give a fuck what happens to you. I just don't. I'm not lifting a finger to help you. I sure as hell ain't encouraging men to come to your rescue. What? Turn niggas into kamikaze Joes so they can end up dead. No. Brother X, in Detroit, yesterday or the day before, a Black woman brought her two brothers. This is what I might do my show on, the Protect All Black Women Death Angel. Because I believe in Detroit, there was a Black woman and her two brothers, Pink Book Lessons, did a upload on it today. Two Black men followed their sister to her baby daddy's house, tried to bust in his house. He shot one dead right there on his front lawn, and the other's in critical condition. Every fucking week, there's some Black men dying coming to protect this nightmare woman. Fuck out of here, man. I'm not doing it.
Either. Don't do it. And I want everybody to check out the Little Big Nate show. Nate Dogg 74. He's on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. He's going to have some hot content. I'll be over there tomorrow. And Brother Nate, I thank you for coming up to my panel. And your insight, your debate skills, greatly appreciated here, brother.
I greatly appreciate you, Leon. And shout out to Miss Tommy Jean, bro.
All right, bro.
I heard of it.
Yeah, she's going to send you a cash app.
No, she's good, man. She's good. I hope y'all come through tomorrow.
All right, bro. We'll be through.
All right, salute.
Salute, bro. All right, that was Little Big Nate. And I just want to say shout out to everybody who participated in the chat and on the panel. Let me get to the poll. is social service a hustle? Example, foster care. Well, 27 votes. There were 85% yeses, 15% no's. Now, again, I'm not against anybody getting help. That's why it is available, the safety net, to help people. What I am against is you have individuals out here who are able bodied and they're basically taking someone's failure, like a disability, a foster child, and they're not utilizing the money for the use. The use is to take care of the patrons that are with you. They're using it for themselves. And I know states provide an incentive for the corruption to take place. Now, it is up to the government on how they put some controls on these scams and frauds out there. For the most part, they're not doing anything about it. So I will say this. If you don't want to put a kid in the foster care system, number one, don't have them. Number two, go to the foster system. And even taking it a step further, if you have a elderly parent or someone in a nursing home, any of those assisted living facilities, look at the abuse that's going on in those places. And if you find out that the victims are going to be neglected, abused, then you need to stay away. Again, social service corruption is a hustle. It's an old hustle, but it's still taking place. And when I talk about social services, I'm just not talking about foster kids. I'm talking about the elderly. And when I say the elderly, I'm talking about the disabilities. And some of them aren't elderly, but I tend to classify everyone under the same umbrella. It's the social service world. And you have a number of individuals who are demonic and are getting a big payback. They can get tax credits. But in the end, the system that's making some rich or some well off is keeping victims. So I say this. Watch out for what's going on in the foster care facilities, the assisted living facilities. Look at the people who are taking care of the elderly people. If you recognize any shady behavior, stay away. Because in the end, it's the victim who suffers while the able-bodied person is grifting. They're living a good life off the backs of individuals who are disabled, who are being neglected, and being abused. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for some actual field videos or I'm actually out on a job because I work as a construction inspector, check out my second channel, QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel. The slogan is still the same. You get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you can't find the QCIS channel or 401 channel on YouTube, you can check me out on Twitter. Now, because the QCIS channel is an educational channel, I take it one step further. You can also find me on LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And if I'm not talking about you, don't speak out, because I'm going to say this. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if you are the one I'm talking about, I'm going to say this. If the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. I'll be up next Wednesday with either some pre-recorded content or a panel. And what I'm doing with my channel, I'm going to mix it up because I still like doing my pre-recorded content. Anyway, thank you all for listening to this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.